Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
A morning walk, some bird watching. It's another easy Sunday. United Health Group makes these ordinary days possible with partners like the University of Tennessee Health Sciences, helping communities manage their health closer to home. 54% of participants have lowered their blood pressure, meaning fewer heart attacks and more Sundays at the park. This might feel like an ordinary day. To United Health Group, it's the healthcare system working better for everyone. Learn more at unitedhealthgroup.com/commitment.
We're all locked in now.
Your home for the best sports radio in Utah is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to kick off your afternoon drive with Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Allow me to introduce the best of the best.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, thank you for making us a part of your Thursday. However, you may be absorbing the show. I do love it that every time I wear my Guns N' Roses shirt, that Christian
recognizes it.
He does, and he comes in with a little GNR, and I think it lifts all of us. I thought of Great American Band, Guns N' Roses.
Ooh, Great American Band. Huh.
Because I also wore my America hat.
You did? Is that new this year, or is this one you've had?
It's new.
I almost just bought a hat with an American flag on it, not a flag with a hat on it. That wouldn't make any sense. I almost, literally 40 minutes ago.
Now, my get-up on Saturday is going to also include a red, white, and blue tie-dye shirt, but I thought it was a little too much for the show.
It's never too much for the show. It's a radio show. Most people still absorb us via audio.
But can I tell you, I don't want to wear it twice because I just thought I could go on Amazon and pick out any old thing, and it really is the worst shirt I've ever bought.
Yeah,
I don't know what material it's made out of, but it certainly is not
worse than polyester.
It certainly is not cotton. So it does accomplish the message I want to send onto our 250, but I don't think it's a shirt I'm really in a hurry to wear twice. So I went with the Great American Band, Guns N' Roses. I also considered going with Johnny Cash, and I don't know why, but ultimately Guns N' Roses won out.
I'm here for it.
Oh, okay.
Should have drafted Axl Rose yesterday.
I also have
Great Americans, yeah.
How did Axl not get drafted? I also regretted, by the way, not drafting Frank Beamer.
Who was the youngest person we drafted? Who's the most contemporary person we drafted?
Oh, was
it MLK?
I'd have to review. Probably.
I haven't posted it yet. I'm going to post it today. I'm sorry. I have neglected my DMs for a minute. I think it was MLK.
Yeah, that's got to be it.
Yeah. Well,
I drafted a lot
of everybody.
Very old people.
Yeah.
It's harder. When you say great Americans, it sounds so arrogant to pick somebody from your own.
Sure.
From your own era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That feels disrespectful to the past almost.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm getting
Absolutely.
at? Right. If you drafted, I don't know, your favorite politician.
Sure.
Instead of
right.
A great politician from yesteryear. It's kind of an insult to the great politician of yesteryear. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you're
you take Dennis Kucinich.
If you're picking Jerry Ford before Abe Lincoln, it's kind of a slap in the face to Abe Lincoln, no?
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah.
I think, don't they say Jerry Ford best athlete / president?
I think so. He played in Michigan.
Played football in Michigan. Isn't that right? And then he stumbled once, and Saturday Night Live did a bit about him stumbling everywhere, and everybody thought he was a klutz. It's like, no, he's a D1 football player.
He's an absolute freak athlete. Yeah.
Goes to show you never know what's going to stick. To go back to our Howard Dean thing.
Yeah.
You
got to be careful.
You scream like a weirdo once, and next thing you know, nobody takes you seriously.
You're the scream guy.
Oh, I mean, it is a concept that proves itself over and over again. We talked about the guy who got beat up on the golf course by the NHL player. Picked a fight with absolutely the wrong person and ended up on video.
Hey, bang! Come on, man.
And now that guy can't show his face in public anymore without being like, hey, I know that face, except for it was a lot more swollen and puffy. Oh, yeah, you're the guy who got beat up by the NHL player.
Abigail Velez.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like-
she dodged a bullet yesterday.
She did.
Yeah,
The
she
Beaks
did.
fell, unfortunately for the Beaks. But shout out Team USA advancing out of the round of 32. It's great. But yeah, she avoided being the Hex.
Yeah, she did. She slept better last night after that result because she really fired up Bosnia and Herzegovina.
I still think she's going to get let go. And then next time you Google her, you'll be like, oh, you're the only turkey I care about is the one on Thanksgiving lady. And the I don't know where Bosnia is on a map lady.
No, she needs to go back to what I assume was her beat before, and that is features. I'm sure she's just fine when it comes to features. I'm sure she can edit a fine package, but give the sports assignment to someone else.
I think that's totally fair.
Doesn't that seem reasonable?
Absolutely.
Send her back to, I don't know if she was doing hard news, but I'm sure she was doing features on something.
Tuesday, my hot take is kind of related because I thought I might get myself canceled like Abigail Velez, who's the ABC News reporter, if you don't know.
For L.A.
For Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
And my hot take Tuesday was, are we sure the United States of America is a good name for a country? What I do want to say is having watched this, and you and I had the same experience. In fact, we talked about it yesterday with Belarus. We did it earlier with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, or Saudi Arabia Kingdom. I don't even remember what the initials are.
Uh-huh.
Unquestionably, USA are the greatest initials of any country on the planet.
Those
are so strong.
You know what you're looking at.
You know what you're looking at. It's totally unique. The letters weirdly flow well together.
It's good in a chant.
It's great in a chant. Yeah. It really, some words just really fit. Some initials really fit. Some things really make sense.
It fits song quite well.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
JFK.
I'd never thought about
you
that,
don't have
but
to like
yeah.
JFK. Really strong initials. A+ initials. USA. It just like flows right into the next letter. And I've never really appreciated, just like from an English major standpoint, how nicely written that sounds.
Speaking of the 250, and I'm sure this was on purpose, but having the World Cup in the country over July 4th and the 250 is like part of the celebration. And the fact that the team is still playing.
Yeah, they're good.
And, we're all going to have a great weekend. And then to cap it off on Monday, right?
Is that when they play?
I believe so. Okay. They play on Monday in Seattle.
Okay.
And so to cap it off with that, I don't know if you could ask for much more. That's pretty sweet. Like, we're all going to be swimming in the red, white, and blue all weekend. That's pretty great.
Yep. Love it.
I do too.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about it. You guys were teasing me about it yesterday, but I've been strangely excited about the 250.
No, I'm into it with you. I'm right there with you.
Pretty awesome. Anyway, what do we have going on right now? Spain and Austria?
Is that what it is?
I don't know. What's AUT? They changed the language, they changed the initials, they changed everything on us, and
Austria.
they expect us to keep up. Yeah, Austria. Spain up 1-0 in the 49th minute. So.
Not to sound like Abigail Velez, I could have not told you that was Austria's flag.
Yeah, flags are tough. Some are more recognizable than others. Like Japan, absolutely Japan.
Absolutely.
No mistaking it.
Yeah. USA, good flag. Strong flag.
Strong
Nothing
flag.
else looks like that.
I like the Union Jack. I think the Union Jack's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Got you.
Missed it, I know. I've gone all week. Gone all week.
Canada has a strong flag.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the Sweden, Norway, Finland.
Except for
but
those get confusing.
They get confused.
Yeah.
Good colors, but yeah, they get confused easily.
And they have similar patterns for similar reasons, and I'm sure there's a whole story behind it, but I do get confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, strong flag.
Really, yeah. And you know what? British flag and Australia flag. The Australia flag featuring the British flag, confusing.
Confusing. A little confusing.
Little confusing. I understand the origin. They took all the bad people in Great Britain. They sent them to Australia. I get it. So they made them keep the flag too.
Should you, and the answer to this is absolutely yes, but should you be married to the flag of yesteryear? Because, like, way yesteryear. Because I bring this up, like, I was about to clown on France for just having the three simple colors, right? Mm-hmm. But the French flag was probably created hundreds of years ago when things were more simple. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you
that's
this.
probably been around a long time. Russia's flag's just three hard bar colors. Lame. Anyway.
Do we think, going back, and I know there's an actual meaning, at least they claim there's a meaning to the colors, and I'm not trying to dismiss anyone, of why so many countries used red, white, and blue? Like, do we think that was like a textile process of they were just like, well, we have red dyes and we have blue dyes and they're cheap?
Yeah, probably.
Like, this is the colors that are available. We aren't making turquoise.
Probably something that simple. Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially when manufacturing first became a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because Russia, France, the United States of America, and I know some of those countries are far older than ours, but like there's a lot of red, white, and blue. I'm not saying they don't. They also work well together on like the color spectrum. They work great together, but I have to think some of that's just like this is what was available. So you go horizontal and we'll go vertical stripes and we'll call it good.
Gotta say, the USSR, strong flag. The hammer and sickle on the red plane that just struck fear in the hearts of everyone.
Yeah, my hottest Cold War take is.
I mean, a strong flag.
Yeah,
you got to give it to him.
It's a pretty
strong
flag.
Pretty
good flag.
You knew exactly what would send a chill down your spine. Just exactly what they were aiming for.
You're right, Japan flag.
Yeah, you know right what it is.
It goes. It really goes.
It does go.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the good patriotic start to the show. I don't mind it. And I did think the World Cup game was super cool, super fun to watch. Can I tell you this? I don't feel qualified to complain about the red card.
Okay.
I don't know. You look at it in slow motion, it looks like he's trying to stomp his Achilles tendon out of his leg. But
I like that they said it didn't look as good. It looked worse in slow motion. It's like, yes, it did.
But my daughter...
It really looked like he meant to do that.
My daughter is super into asking me questions, right? And she's a little soccer, and she's asking me all these questions while we're watching the game. And she's like, what makes that a red card? And I didn't have a good answer for her. I didn't know, I don't know what differentiates that from a yellow or a red. So I heard Lloyd and his hot take and all those guys that were just outraged over the red card. I don't know how should we be outraged? I don't feel qualified to be outraged. Does that make sense? I don't know. I was disappointed in the answer to my daughter's question, which was, I don't know, honey.
Per AI, gotta love it. Severe offenses like violent conduct, deliberately handling the ball to deny an obvious goal, or committing a dangerous foul as the last offender. I don't know if what we saw yesterday qualifies for that unless you thought he was actually trying to hurt the player. I did not think he was trying to hurt anyone. I did not exactly understand the challenge he was making for the ball. It looked like he was more challenging the player than the ball, but I thought, great, give him a yellow. They went red. I was surprised. But I'll tell you what I did not feel that everyone else was feeling. I was not panicked over the last 30 minutes of the game. Everyone was saying that they were just on the edge of their seat thinking this was going to be the collapse. They're down a man. I totally get it. But I didn't. Maybe I'm just not a big enough soccer guy to recognize it. But no, I didn't feel any pressure. And then they scored the shorthanded goal and fell easy street from there.
I was a little edge of the seat. I don't know. And I'm certainly not a soccer guy. But being down a man, much like hockey, Ben, is a significant disadvantage. I mean, I think that's why everybody was on the edge of their seat,
absolutely.
right? I mean, it's a significant disadvantage. I mean, if even the untrained eye, I could see the adjustments that they made on defense. If you need to put it in a basketball lens, they had to go from a hard man to a soft zone, you know?
Oh, it's just like hockey.
Yeah,
you're
right.
down a man, and all of a sudden you're playing that little diamond instead of being able to kind of match up with everybody.
Exactly. And you could see the Beaks build momentum. I like that.
Like that?
The momentum graphic that they put up there.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what goes into calculating that, but
Kind of had no idea what that was. I looked at it and I thought, whoa, that looks bad. And I had to step back. The way I would invite analytics people to step back and say, do you actually know what that means? Because it does look like something, no question.
No,
but I don't know what it actually implied.
It's supposed to, you can understand, or at least I think I can, which maybe I can't. But it's supposed to imply the momentum of the match. It's probably some sort of combination of time of possession to time of possession in a row to,
Location
there's
of the
probably
ball. Yeah, absolutely.
all those
no
things.
question. I get it.
There's something that goes into it. And I find it kind of useful, to be honest. And the maddening part about soccer is you can dominate that stupid metric for the whole game and still lose 1-0.
Absolutely.
It's the randomness, certainly, of the sport. But if you looked after that time, the momentum for the Beaks was just off the chain. It totally changed. And so, I don't know. I get the edge of the seat thing. And honestly, the free kick was something to behold.
All-timer.
Yeah, I pointed my 8-year-old and I said, honey, that's how you kick a soccer ball right there.
Bad angle, bad spot. You're almost too close to be able to like just drop it over, because to drop it over at that distance, and again, I'm not a soccer player, but like you're not kicking it very hard, right? To get that much drop on it, you can't just go all out for it and beat the goaltender just based off speed alone. Just like perfect touch, angle, location. Yeah, A+ stuff.
You can see him, if you're in the replay, you can see him kind of not kick it his hardest. You could see him. But did you see the stuff afterwards about how he just switched cleats before he kicked it?
I didn't.
Oh, dude, you gotta look it up. So the reason he switched cleats is because somebody mashed his foot so badly that it tore his cleat. And there's actually some sound on this. We could probably find it. Because someone's like, wow, was that hard? And he's like, well, there was a tear in he called it a boot. Tear in my boot, so what do you expect? I needed a new one. But you should see the picture of his foot. It's covered in blood.
Okay.
He's got a bloody foot.
It's Malik Tillman, by the way. But
yeah. That he mashed into a new set of cleats, and then he went out there and banged home that free kick. Do we have it? Oh, yeah. Let's play this. Let's play this sound from Tillman.
Penny Taft on Fox Sports said you had to have a cleat change right before that free kick. What was that process like, and how did your foot feel?
Yeah, I mean, I was in pain, but my shoe was cut, so this is why I changed the boot, yeah.
Wait, your shoe was like broken open?
Yeah.
Was it your right foot, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Did somebody step on you? What happened?
Yeah, someone stepped on me. But yeah, it's just pain, I guess. Nothing too bad.
Nothing too bad. They like split his foot in two. Look at those pictures of that bloody sock. It puts Kurt Schilling to shame.
You cool with him being born in Germany?
Well, I don't really care. What's the tie? Is this the guy who was randomly born accidentally in New York? Because there's one of those that's on the team.
Born in Germany, Nuremberg.
Oh, is he a U.S. citizen, or can we just sign people now?
He must have some. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon played for Team USA in 1996.
But he actually
became
a U.S. citizen before he did that.
I am actually not that crazy about. I'm going to say that wrong. I'm not super strict about that rule. Like, look, you shouldn't just be able to get Thierry Henry to come play in USA when he's in his prime 15 years ago to build some super team or whatever it is. That's not what I'm saying. But like Jordan Clarkson playing for the Philippines, even though it's only his grandmother, no offense to only his grandmother, but like Jordan wasn't born in the Philippines, go play for the Philippines. Good for you.
That is, I guess overall I wouldn't be super strict about it. That's the rule in the Olympics, right? And I don't know how many generations that goes out, but like Pace Mannion's son played for
Italy.
Played for the Italian team. I certainly wouldn't be strict about that. However, have you looked into how many actual Qataris play on Qatar's team?
0.
Yeah. I mean, then there's these Middle Eastern countries that are kind of skirting some of those rules. But honestly, I don't.
Per Wikipedia, Tillman was initially eligible to represent both Germany, his birth nation, and the United States through his father.
Okay.
And this is actually one of the rules that is pretty consistent across federal, international, whatever they call FIFA, FIBA, et cetera, wherever you train or where you do a lot of like your under 19 stuff, where you're playing, you end up being eligible there most traditionally. And it does sound like he went through some USA stuff.
Okay.
He was with USA under 15 and then Germany under 15, under 16, under 17.
I think it's cool that he plays for Team USA in the sense that it's not cool to play for Team USA.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of have this arrogance that, everybody want to be on our team. Well, in soccer, that is not true.
No.
So I don't know if this is he picked us over Germany or he could not make the German team. But either way, he delivered with one heck of a free kick yesterday after getting his foot mangled.
It's
amazing. What a great story.
Tillman applied for a one-time switch to play for the United States national team on May 31st. The switch was approved by FIFA. The next day, he made his senior debut. So, yeah, sounds like he's made this jump.
Awesome.
Picked a side.
Good to have you.
We'll take him.
Welcome.
We love you. It's kind of how our country started.
No,
Welcome. Come on in.
First time since 2002 that the U.S. has gotten to the round of 16.
Is it? Okay.
I believe so.
Well, they've also expanded the field, so it actually every time you move further now is a better result than any time previously because you've had to win more games or get past more teams.
So pretty cool.
Hey, everyone's got the fever.
Hey, I'm going to watch it on Monday. I'm not
absolutely.
into soccer, but I'm going to be dialed in.
Came home and turned it on.
Honestly, this is the best result for U.S. soccer. I was commenting to my lovely wife, who used to be work for an ad agency, and we were talking about how many RSL ads are running during the coverage of the World Cup, and we started talking like, good for them. That's super smart. Lean into this whole thing, ride this momentum. That's how Major League Soccer was created in the first place, was riding the momentum off of World Cup success and trying to build the sport in this country. And so to have it back and have the U.S. do well and have it, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the ratings, Ben, but it's been a bonanza.
Yep.
It's been wildly popular. That's nothing but good for Major League Soccer and nothing but good for RSL. And I'm sure that
I wish RSL's two guys were there.
And I'm sure they're super bummed. I mean, that would have made it even better. But still lean into it. Still make it a big deal. I saw the news come on after the World Cup. We kind of left it on, and they're broadcasting from RSL State America First Field down there. I mean, that's great. I hope RSL sees a huge boon in interest, and then it's up to them to capture it. But I mean, this is really great for the sport in this country. It really is.
Shout out to my guy Breck Bolton over at our friends at Fox. But yes, I'm totally with you. You know, we look back. I mean, we look at the NBA now, or just basketball now. You can go back to 1992 and the Dream Team takes over the world and all these countries play against them, and it just lights a fire in so many different countries to have these players. And then about 10 years later, you start to see a couple of those kids who were 8 years old watching the Dream Team become really good basketball players. You know, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker follows very closely behind, and now France is a superpower in basketball. I mean, they're not quite the USA, but they're not far behind because you don't need to have 500 great players. You don't need to have 1,000 great players. You probably need to have 5 great players and one of the 5 best in the world. That's exactly what France has, and they are in a really good spot to maybe win a gold medal as soon as the next Olympics. And then on the flip side, like Steve Nash wins 2 MVPs in, 05, 06, 06, 07, or whatever those years were. And Canada does have Shea and does have, 15 legitimately very good NBA players, and they can compete in the playoffs or in the finals, I should say, in the Olympics. They can make a real run. Similarly, for us with soccer, we're never going to have as many good soccer players as we have good football players or good basketball players. But can we get 25 really good soccer players and then actually be able to field a team that really competes here? Maybe that can come quicker than we thought. I'd love it.
Well, Freeman picked soccer. His father was an NFL player. Had a strong kind of that upbringing, and he decided to pick soccer.
Love to see it. Yeah, I'd love to see the Nepo baby NBA player playing for the World Cup team in soccer.
As opposed to the Nepo baby playing
basketball, which is what the entire league's going to be.
So are you talking about Bronny James? You need Bronny James to...
Probably too late for Bronny, but maybe Bryce can still make the switch.
Switch over? Okay.
Fingers crossed.
I think it's a little bold, but,
I think Dennis Rodman's daughter is like the best female player.
Is that true?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, Trinity. She's the highest paid female player in the world.
Is she really?
Yeah, at least in the U.S. Oh, she rules. She was on the women's Olympic team. Yeah.
Well, Dennis was a good athlete.
Yeah, the worm. He's great.
Yeah, I mean, he was an underrated athlete. Okay, we've got top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Just naturally started with soccer. That might be the first time ever that has happened.
Maybe messing, but yeah, you're right. We've been doing this for 6 years, and that's at most, that's the second.
There he is, Lionel.
Lionel.
By the way, I watched the Michael movie.
Uh-huh.
Really paints Joe Jackson in a bad light.
I bet you gotta, he was an easy villain to pick, yeah. Joe, he doesn't come off looking good, huh? I think they had a lot to work with in that department.
You said it's his camp that made the movie, right?
No,
No, Michael's camp.
Michael's camp.
Right,
Somebody's camp.
Yeah.
Somebody's camp.
Well,
that
clearly,
has some control.
Yeah,
control.
They're saying they're going to make a sequel, right? I don't know
where it's only takes place over the next 12 months of his life.
All right, stay
Don't
tuned.
Get too far.
More Jake and Ben, top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Coming up next, 97.5.
Dark.
The KSL Sports Zone. It always does with you. Stop.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time Guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
There's only one Ozempic.
Hello, I'm Ozempic.
And I'm other GLP-1s, kind of like him. Ozempic, you redid your jingle?
Thanks for noticing. Catchy, right?
No.
Okay, then. Well, ask your doctor about which FDA-approved uses of me, the Ozempic pen, may be right for you. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and learn more about Ozempic semaglutide injection, 2 milligrams. Only Novo Nordisk makes FIFA-approved Ozempic.
There's only one Ozempic.
I told you it was catchy.
Now at McDonald's, get an $8 McChicken or a $9 McDouble FIFA World Cup meal deal. They come with small fries, a soft drink, 4-piece McNuggets, and one of 9 legendary cups.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time while supplies last. All rights reserved. 2026 McDonald's at FIFA World Cup 2026.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
MeTV is America's #1 classic TV entertainment network, airing over 60 of the greatest TV series every week. Now, MeTV presents The Golden Girls of Summer, showcasing the best of the Golden Girls. Watch Dorothy, Blanche, Rose, and Sophia, weeknights on MeTV at 10 p.m. 9 Central. Log on to MeTV.com now to find out where to watch MeTV free over the air and on cable, satellite, and select streaming services. MeTV is memorable entertainment television.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake, Scott, Ben, Anderson, happy Thursday to one and all. We will not be on the air coming up tomorrow. We hope that most everybody, isn't that kind of the thing? Most everybody has a day off tomorrow?
I think so.
Yeah, so hopefully everybody has a nice long weekend.
If you have the day off, salute. We're with you. If you don't, appreciate your hard work.
Are you gonna maximize your day off? Are you the guy when you get a day off and maybe you don't have? I don't think you're going anywhere, like a big trip planned or anything. Are you minimize your day off or maximize your day off? You know what I mean?
I've been running around a lot. I went to New York last week. We're going to Frisco next week for Big 12 Media Day, starting on Tuesday. Well, starting on Wednesday, but we're flying out Tuesday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's busy. I might try and enjoy a little bit of downtime.
A little. Do you have a lazy boy?
I don't, but I can be lazy anywhere.
I know, but I always envision like really being lazy in a lazy boy, and I've always wanted one, but I've never had one. It's like a weird dream of mine. I just want a lazy boy.
A little curious. We'll talk about it. Why didn't the NBA start the Summer League on the 3rd? Why didn't they start it on Friday?
I don't know.
Everyone's got the day off, right? You could start a couple of midday games, get some people watching. That kind of seems actually like a little bit
Is
of
that
a
an
missed
NBA
opportunity.
decision?
Might be the Jazz. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Probably someone arguing about ticket sales somewhere, maximizing whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. All right, top three.
Might be hard to do Friday night, then Saturday afternoon because nobody wants to go out on Saturday night because it's the 4th of July. No one's going to your game, and then you're waiting until Monday. That honestly might have been the simple answer.
Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. There's the momentum thing right there. You don't find that useful?
It just looks like a bunch of waves. Looks like somebody's recording audio.
Well, dial in, bro. Figure it out.
Okay.
It's not hard.
Analytics guy.
That's not even analytics. That's a helpful tool to help you understand what's transpired during the game.
You're measuring momentum?
Well, sports momentum and actual momentum.
Give me the Riz counter. Who's got the most Riz on the field right now? That's what I want to know.
Sports momentum and actual momentum, not the same thing, to your point.
Exactly right, yeah.
Top 3 stories at KSLSports.com brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, the Jazz trade away Walker Kessler yesterday. They bring in Jackson Hayes. Are they done? Are they going to make any more moves?
They've got to make more moves. Their roster's not filled yet, and they could use more help off the bench. Now, they conceivably already have enough players or more than enough players for a 10-man rotation. Like, if they go out and sign players, they're probably signing players who they expect to play, probably. it's going to eat up a lot of time. I mean, there's not a lot of spots, and there are a lot of players.
They got to sign at least one more center.
I would think.
Or trade for one. I mean, you look at somebody like Jared Allen. I mean, do the Cavs bring back LeBron, who gets squeezed in that situation? And it's not going to be Donovan Mitchell or James Harden. So does somebody become available because of some other circumstance?
That's certainly what the Jazz can wait for.
Is my point.
And I won't be surprised if the Jazz just wait to see if something along those lines happens. But yeah, the counter is if that was the case. Again, and I think there are a lot of Jazz fans are wondering, like, can you go trade for Miles Turner? It's like, I think if you could have, the Lakers probably would have done that instead of paid Walker Kessler $32 million and then given up 2 picks and then given up 2 swaps. If there was a better option out there for cheaper or an equal option out there for cheaper right now.
Right now.
But eventually the market will soften. It has to.
Well, it will change at very least.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys think LeBron is waiting till the 4th to make his announcement?
Gordon Hayward style?
I think he's going to wait longer.
Well, 250.
Yeah.
He's the news on the big day.
Really good. You know what?
Look at all these fireworks for me. This is great.
That would be a foolish move because as dominant of a media headline as LeBron James is, I don't think he's going to eclipse the 250. I don't know if that's possible.
Bron doesn't know that.
I think he's going to wait. I think he's going to wait it out. Like Aaron Rodgers style, wait it out, until camp's already started.
That's totally fair. I'm looking down right now at Basketball Reference, and I'm just looking at all the salaries that they have. They will list all 450 players or whatever it is in their salaries. So the Jazz in this Walker Kessler trade, and they don't have it yet. It's worth noting. I think this Walker Kessler trade is not done yet, but it will be. The Jazz should get back a trade exception worth $14, $15, $16 million, somewhere in that range, depending on how much Walker's first year starts at. It's half of what his first year starts at. And the Jazz could use that to just go to a team and say, hey, we know you want to unload this $15 million player. Here's your trade exception. Maybe the Jazz even throw in a second-round pick, to get something back. There just truly aren't a lot of, great options at that price range. There's just not a lot of names out there that make a ton of sense right now that are centers.
So if they can't make that trade, then they've got to sign one more, I think, because I don't know what they're getting at Jackson Hayes, and Nurk isn't a starting center anymore, so at very least you're going to have to do it by committee, and you probably ought to have one more body in the committee, I would say, whether it's Cousin Drew or my guy, right. Andre Drummond,
Doesn't
or
hurt.
somebody.
And then,
just another body for nothing.
And then you can unload one of them mid-season or they're expiring or whatever. The truth is, again, we talked about this a little bit, the Jazz have a real flaw in what their salary cap looks like. They have 2 guys who make $45 million, and their next highest paid player is Darren Peterson, who's never been in the NBA, and he makes $13 million a year. Because you do still have to match salaries, and the Jazz don't have salary cap space, the Jazz need some mid-level contracts. It's actually going to be really hard to get an 18 or a 20 or a $25 million contract on this roster, but you're probably better off using that trade exception just to take a $15 million expiring deal from somebody, if you can get it, to potentially trade again within the season just to have it on the books, just so you can potentially make another move. So if Jared Allen becomes available, if Miles Turner becomes available, it's just so much easier to get there because you can't pair players with traded player exceptions. You can't go and say, oh, well, John Konchar makes 6 and Svi Mikhailiuk makes 4, and then you get a $15 million trade exception that gets you to 25. You can't do that. But if you trade the $15 million trade exception for a $15 million contract, then you have to wait a certain amount of days. It's like 60 days or longer. But then you can aggregate contracts together. Don't be surprised if the Jazz just try to get a $15 million player back on an expiring deal that they could then trade midseason.
Makes sense to me.
You almost have to have it.
What's next?
Number 2, you mentioned earlier, Big 12 Media Days are next week. KSLSports.com put out their Big 12 rankings.
And
where did you vote, everyone, Christian?
Let's see. I put the T-Birds at number 1.
SUU. Fight. Texas Tech comes in at number 1, 9 first-place votes. BYU comes in number 2, the only other team to replace first-place votes, or to receive first-place votes. Surprising that Arizona comes in over Utah?
No, I think Arizona's going to be pretty good. I'm more surprised Texas Tech came in over BYU, or at least it wasn't more evenly split. And I realize that they have a quarterback that does have experience that trounced Utah last year, that it is coming back. But there's a question around that health. But they're replacing some incredible players on the defensive side. I mean, maybe it's the money, and we should just assume that Texas Tech is going to reload with great players every year. But have they earned that? Have they earned that benefit of the doubt?
I'm always skeptical of the idea that you can continue to retool through the transfer portal. Now, it's certainly possible. They did it last year, and they won as a result. And they didn't have a good quarterback last year either, and they still won. And now they hope that what's his name, Will Hammond, can step in and replace what Sorsby did. I am a little curious how the culture is. Now, the nice thing is Sorsby's not really there and isn't going to be a part of it, and those questions are going to largely be gone. But the expectation of having Sorsby to not having Sorsby, how do they adjust?
We get so lost on the quarterback. What about Bailey? They
absolutely.
had a top. What was Bailey in the draft? 2?
2. Yeah.
The second pick in the
superstar.
draft.
He was a legit star. He was one of the best players in college football last year.
You know, a long time ago, I remember when the Utes lost Luther Ellis. You know, the next year, there wasn't another Luther Ellis. I mean, and maybe they're pretty good, but like second pick in the draft, good. And then that I'm forgetting the linebacker's last name. That was
Jacob.
Rodriguez, who was
Rodriguez?
Absolutely a
second rounder. It was
absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you can't replace those kind of guys, but those guys were amazing.
No, you can't.
So
Here's the truth: you don't replace stars. That is the universal truth in all of sports.
So why are we assuming that they're automatically the number one team? And I don't know. Maybe I would have voted them number one, but I would have given BYU more consideration just based on they do have a baller quarterback coming back.
Yes, they do. Who should be better?
Now, their defense is the question, too. So that's why maybe I would debate in my mind, too, because can our guy K-Pop keep things going up? Is it going to be golden? I don't know. That's a big question mark. I probably would have voted, to get to your original question, I probably would have voted Utah ahead of Arizona just based on I mean, they're bringing a lot back, too, including their quarterback and running back, and they were better last year. So I do think that Arizona...
Their quarterback, and running back, or their quarterback and running back? It's the same guy.
Kind of, yeah. Well,
they're also bringing their
backup quarterback is also
their quarterback, and their running back.
Uh-huh. Yeah, all of those are coming back. And I like Kevin McGivern, so I'm actually expecting a better Utah offense. I know that sounds crazy, or at very least more balanced. And so, I don't know. I probably would have voted Utah ahead of Arizona. Houston also is another one of those teams that's going to be on the come. So,
should be a solid conference, and I think it's up in the air.
Who's voted last?
Iowa State.
Ooh, Matt
Checks
Campbell.
Well, they lost their whole team. Their whole team is in Penn Station. Yeah,
and their coach.
That's definitely going to be rough for them. Our guy Neon Dion at 15. Yikes! Is everybody assuming that the Buffs are going to suck?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
is Zach Wilson their starting quarterback?
Isaac Wilson? Zach Wilson used to play for
That'd
the
be
Jets.
good. They could use Zach.
Zach's busy with the Saints right now, I think.
That's right.
But Isaac, I think it's going to be a quarterback camp kind of thing.
No, Julian Lewis, redshirt freshman.
All right, there you go.
Is that the steal?
That does look like it, unless it's an old one.
I had to go buy it.
Well, you were in an airport.
No, I bought it at Barnes & Noble the other day.
Oh,
Took last year off, and not that I necessarily missed it, but
you didn't grab that at the Hip and Humble
for this. No, that wouldn't get my wife back together with me.
That
wouldn't mend an affair fence.
I don't think, and maybe this is because we always, went on vacation to see my grandmother over the summer, but I don't think I've ever bought a college football magazine not at the airport.
Okay.
Because they all come out during the summer.
They do.
And I'm looking for something to do on the plane. And you go to that newsstand, and all of a sudden that, Street and Smiths or Phil Steele.
Athlon, yeah.
Jumping right off the
absolutely.
right off the thing at you. It's like, all right, I got to check that out.
Yeah.
But I always at the airport, never at the Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
Do they even have it at the store anymore?
The Grosh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't look at the magazine rack very often. Do they still have magazine racks at grocery stores?
That's what I'm saying.
I would imagine, yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
Let's go. Let's take the 3 o'clock hour off.
All right, real quick. The Utes were at 4, Houston 5, Arizona State 6, TCU 7, Kansas State 8, Oklahoma State 9, and Baylor comes in at number 10. All right, what's next?
Number 3, Salt Lake City Summer League starts on Saturday.
Be nice if Micah Handlogged in out of nowhere was great. Jazz would love that as a two-way center that they could sign. I'm sure they would be thrilled if that was the case. That probably is not going to be the case. But I'm really curious to see how they use Darren Peterson. Does he come out as a point guard right away? Do they try and make his life a little bit easier by starting him off the ball? They do have guys like Max Asmus, who's been playing with the Stars and has kind of run some offense in his life that can probably step in and do it if need be.
I would guess they let him do his thing. They want to, for one, I think they want to maybe put on a little bit of a show, debut their rookie, let him go out there and do it up. But two, you kind of want him to experience how hard it's going to be. I mean, that's something that Woj was saying the other day when we played his availability, where he was saying he needs to play against these pro players, the best players he's ever played against. Well, let him go out there and see what his game can do against this kind of competition. I'd like to see it.
Jazz also have Bez Mbang, who recorded a triple-double last year, if you forgot. Who was it? He had a triple-double the same night as another player, and I couldn't remember who it was. The Jazz had two players get triple-doubles in the same game, and Bez Mbang was one of them. And I can't remember now for the life. I'll have to look it up.
Just another example of how stupid that stat has become.
Yeah, it's not a real number. It's a round number. There's 3 round numbers involved. That's kind of fun.
And it is so ridiculous that so many people focused on that triple-double streak for so long.
John Conch.
It was Conch.
That's right.
Conch and Bez in the same night. Now, that is a feat. Jazz haven't had a triple-double in 20 years, and all of a sudden Conch comes out of nowhere and stops on that record.
But Bez Mbang can play point guard if need be. Hayden Gray can play point guard if need be. He's also a very good defensive player. He played that last game of the season. Max Asmus can play point guard. So they do have enough names out there to take Darren off the ball for stretches, because you remember Scottie Pippen Jr. Coming out and wanting to just make Keontae George's life miserable in Summer League. I think this was 2 years ago. It was on last year. Keontae didn't play. But some of these try-hard defensive guys, who some of them make the NBA as try-hard defensive guys, really want to ruin the life of someone like Darren Peterson. So maybe you don't burn him down right away by starting him if somebody else is maybe a little more equipped for it. But Darren and Ace should be the best player on this team. Best players.
By the way, the game tips off at 3 o'clock at the Huntsman Center, and the Jazz will be taking on the Hawks in their first game.
You know what? Try-hard defensive player? Kingston Flemings. Number 8 overall pick.
Wait, who's going to be coaching the Summer League for the Hawks? It's got to be a former Jazz guy. All Captain Jack's staff are former Jazz guys.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up.
Why is the rum always gone?
And actually, you'll be able to watch that on Prime Video and ESPNU if you want to take it in. I don't know. I'm sure.
I haven't seen anything about K-Jazz.
Or Jazz Plus. Know. Are they doing any of that?
Know.
Okay. Stay tuned. We'll get to more coming up next. Speaking of the Jazz, radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Jazz, David Locke, is going to join the show.
By the way, 2 former Jazz coaches, it sounds like,
at the top of the 3 o'clock hour.
Antonio Lang and Sanjay Lumpkin.
Okay.
2 former Jazz guys.
Yeah, Quinn really did just take all his guys to Atlanta.
Everything.
Yep. Stay tuned. More next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Not only do these guys give you the best Jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. We're going to play a little sound here. Tim Hardaway Jr., Ben, who strangely has been in the league forever. He's like 34.
He was on that Trey Burke Michigan team. Remember, it was Tim Hardaway Jr., it was Trey Burke, it was McConnell. Can't remember what the guy's name. Mitch McGarry. Not Mitch McConnell.
That's a different
somebody
person.
different person. Mitch McGarry, I think was his name.
That sounds right.
And they had one other junior, one other guy who was an NBA player's kid, I believe. There was 2 Nepo babies on the team. And of all of them, Tim Hardaway Jr. is still kicking.
Still in the league.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot and guard, you're going to have a nice career. Yep. And not be a malcontent, you're going to be around for a while. So signing with Miami, people were kind of thinking, well, is the number 10 for his old man going to come down out of the rafters? And Tim Hardaway Sr. Says, I don't think so.
And Tim, I'm not saying do it for some kid out of Wyoming or Kentucky, but you got to let your namesake wear 10, bro. Like I heard you say you never going to do it. Let him wear 10, man. That would be so beautiful.
That would be, but I'm not.
Why not?
You love your kids unconditionally, and my legacy is my legacy, and he's doing it his way. Even though he likes to wear 10, he loves to wear 10, but that is not coming down from the rafters. And I can't, that's tough to do. That is tough to do. And when it's up there, you want it to stay up there, and you don't want nobody to touch it. And, I love him. I love him to death. I'm happy for him. Now he's going to, his hometown team. I never done that. And so I'm happy that he's doing it. But no, he can't even wear number 10.
Is there anything he could give you? Like if you had these demands or you wanted something that maybe he's never got you as a gift, is there anything he could do for you to say, yeah, you know what, son, you could have 10?
No.
Did he has he asked you? Has that been a conversation that you've had with him, or he just knows? He just knows.
I'm gonna tell you this. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we was trying to get to Miami, and it never. And they wanted him, but it never happened because of just reasons, trade reasons, and all that type of stuff. But it never happened. But they tried, we tried, and he asked me that. I said, let me think about it. And I thought about it. Man, my wife was like, no. No, I'm sorry, but I was like, no, we thought about it for 24 hours, and we was like, no.
Tim Hardaway Sr.'s a hater.
Dude, I have so much respect for that. Absolutely. In fact, if I were Tim Hardaway Jr., I wouldn't want it.
He did. Well, I went back, so I found the Trey Burke roster. By the way, Glenn Robinson III was the other guy on that team. Nick Stauskas was on. That team was loaded. No wonder they made the Final Four. Had nothing to do with Trey Burke. That team was great. Karis LeVert was even on that team. Neither here nor there. Tim Hardaway Jr., being a little too... it's your kids. Now, yes, if you wanted to go back and say, hey, Tim Hardaway Jr., not Tim Hardaway Sr., Tim Hardaway Jr., pick a different number in college because he's wearing number 10 on that Michigan team as well. He's had it his whole life. Yeah, pick a different number so you're not just following in your dad's footsteps.
You just can't have it in Miami. You can wear it all he wants. You just can't have it in Miami. And by the way, isn't this the anti-Bronny? It's like, no, it's his own thing.
You got to earn it. You got to earn your own thing.
And Tim Hardaway Jr. has not been the equal to his old man in the NBA.
No,
but you know what? He has stuck around forever, and he's played on some good teams, and he's played some good basketball, and he's probably earned his own fortune, which I can respect.
I hate a game that my wife plays with me, which she makes me guess how many Instagram followers certain people have. I hate it, but I am going to make you play this game with me.
No.
How much money do you think Tim Hardaway Sr. made in his career? You have some reference of guys played.
I bet Tim Jr. made more, to fast forward again. But let me guess.
Let's play a different game.
Okay.
How much more money do you think Tim Hardaway Jr. has made than Tim Hardaway Sr.?
It's probably significant. Probably like $20 million. Maybe more.
Christian, you have a guess? How much more Tim Hardaway Jr. has made? What was Tim Hardaway Sr., like 4 or 5-time All-Star?
What year did he stop playing? What was his last year?
Tim Hardaway Sr. last played in the year 2003.
Okay, we might be talking closer to 50.
$120 million more than
wow, no way.
Tim Hardaway Jr., still in the league, has made $160 million.
Man.
Tim Hardaway Sr. made $46 million.
I would never have guessed that Tim Hardaway Jr. would have made that much money.
Yeah. Well, he might have gotten one of those weird big paydays in the jump years.
When he was in Dallas,
where
maybe.
he went from like Where'd he go? New York to Atlanta? I'll have to look at what his actual salaries were.
No,
where
he
got
started
his
in
money.
Denver.
Is that where he started?
Yeah.
I'll have to look at all of his jumps because he had some weird.
He's played for 5 teams. I heard somebody talking about it earlier today. Dallas and Golden State are another. This is his 5th team, Miami, and there's one more there in the middle. But nonetheless, I'm shocked that dude's made
$160 million.
Yeah,
These guys eat
good
pretty
on
well.
you.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, you know what? If your dad doesn't want to give you number 10, you've made 3 times as much money as he has. That's totally fine with me.
Well, obviously, this is all his old man has.
And
Let the old man have something.
When his dad comes calling for money because he goes broke later in his life, I'm cutting dad off. Sorry, Dad. Thought you needed to make your own legacy. He went from $2.2 million with the Hawks. He signed a huge deal with the Knicks where he got paid $16.5 million and then jumped to the Mavericks the next year. I don't know exactly what happened there. I don't remember if they traded him or what. But was he in the? I'm trying to think. He wasn't in the Trae Young trade? Trae Young, Austin, or Luka Doncic trade? He was not. Anyways, they just did a big multi-team trade.
And then anytime Tim Hardaway Sr. is in the news, we've got to play my awkward moment with Eric Pincus because I thought this was a really funny joke about the Clippers signing so many old players last year, and this is what I got. Christian and I have a pool going on who the Clippers' next signing would be, and I said Tim Hardaway Sr. Sorry, I had to get that joke in. Dude. A courtesy laugh me or something.
At least play along. The thing is,
nothing.
Yeah, the Golden State Warriors are talking about signing LeBron James and being the oldest team in the world to the point where everyone's calling them the Olden State Warriors, the Golden Age Warriors. Give you a nod.
Yeah, whatever, Pincus. All right, David Locke's next. Stay tuned. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Not only do these guys give you the best Jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Man, things have been busy in the Jazz world, Ben. We knew it was going to be wild. It's been even more so, and I'm eager to get the thoughts on it all with our very next guest. Of course, he's the radio play-by-play voice of the Utah Jazz, the one and only David Locke. Hi, David. Happy Independence Day to you.
Happy Independence Day to you. The NBA is gone bonkers. It is. I'm not entirely sure the Jaylen Brown trade might not be close to as bad as the Luka Doncic trade, by the way.
Wow. Well, let's start there. We commented on how the Jazz reportedly got more for Kessler than the Celtics got for Brown.
Yeah. So Boston's up 3-1 against Philadelphia, right?
Right.
And on that day, they were the favorite to win the Eastern Conference, which turned out to win the NBA title. And then, Embiid came back and weird stuff happened, and they ended up losing. So on a gap year, the former NBA champions, previous NBA Finals team, or close to, because Tatum got hurt first, but NBA champions were the favorites. And then they were up 3-1, still the favorite. So that was what? Probably May 10th? And 50 days later, they just punted on all championship opportunities? That's crazy.
It certainly felt like a team that either thought it was at the end of its run, as is, or yes, obviously Jaylen Brown's name leaking in back-to-back years, and of course with the Giannis trade. Here's what I don't understand, David. How do you let Jaylen Brown's name get associated with the Giannis trade and then not finish the Giannis trade? I can't believe that it was going to be that irreparable if you weren't going to say whatever it takes, we're going to get it across the finish line. And if they were ready to be done with Jaylen Brown, then just be done with him.
So I'm with you 100%. 100%. The only thing I can think of, so I generally have a rule on this. When your default is, well, they're just idiots, they're probably not. Most of the guys in this league, and they're all men, are pretty smart. They're not all men, but virtually all of them are, right? They're pretty smart. People, and frankly, one of the smartest people I know is Allison Feaster's in the Celtics front office. So there's a woman. So guys and men. Or women and men. like when you just default, like, well, they're just an idiot. That's not the answer. There's something else going on. So, because the answer to your question, Ben, is yeah, they just totally like screwed it up and they're idiots. But the only thing I wonder is, did Milwaukee not want Jaylen Brown? Or did Milwaukee take Jaylen Brown for a run around the block and found out they couldn't get anything other than Paul George and 2 first-round picks? And so they decided that the Miami package was actually better. But I'm with you 100%. If Boston had a chance to close the Giannis deal and they didn't do it because of Baylor Shireman or Hugo Gonzalez or one extra pick or something like that, that was a terrible mistake.
How about the rock group theory, David, that, it always comes down to who gets the credit for the success of, Led Zeppelin? Is it Jimmy Page or is it Robert Plant? And with every great rock group, it seems to come to a head and it cannot exist any further. And I don't know, through that lens, you look at Jaylen Brown saying this was his favorite year, and the guy's always had a chip on his shoulder and probably thinks he's just as good, if not better, than Jason Tatum, and the situation has just gotten out of hand.
So I'm sure that if Austin Ainge is listening right now, or Justin Zanuck, or Bart Taylor, or Marquise, or Katie, or someone in our front office, or Sean, they're going to tell me I'm full of crap. But that's what the organization's job is. That's my take.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Let's say Luka Doncic did drink too much, and Luka Doncic didn't work out enough, and Luka Doncic did all the things that Dallas nastily threw out about him. And let's say that all the things are being said about Jaylen Brown right now that the Boston Mafia media is throwing out there to protect their guy Brad Stevens and the beloved leprechaun of the Boston Celtics and a very Celtic-heavy NBA media right now. Let's say they're all true. That's what the organization's for. That's your job. Your job is to get through that as an organization. That's literally your job. That's what the organization's there for. That's my take.
David, I know there's some limitations on how exactly to talk about this, but the Jazz they've not finished a deal, but reportedly sending Walker Kessler to the Los Angeles Lakers for 2 unprotected picks and 2 swaps. It's a pretty big haul, no question about it. I still would suspect that if the Jazz could have gotten Walker Kessler at the 5-year deal they offered him initially, that would have been the preference. So what do you think about having continued flexibility, which part of me says, man, Ace Bailey, Darren Peterson, and 2 unprotected picks from another team going forward is pretty sweet for 4 or 5 years down the road. But I do think there's some urgency to try to win now.
So I think that there's a lot of urgency to win now. And there are a bunch of things that have to happen down the road. And, when the first hurdle was going to be how you re-sign Walker and how you re-sign Keontae, and under what parameters you can do that while still having Jaren and Lowry on the roster. But you also have an incredible luxury that Darren Peterson and Ace Bailey are on controlled cost. And what we just learned about the Spurs is when you got a bunch of guys on controlled cost, you can really win. And that's what Oklahoma City did. They had guys on controlled cost and they went and won. So when you have players that are really good that are under controlled cost, that's when you've got to go in. And I think that's part of the new model in the NBA. Now, New York did it otherwise. New York got their veterans together and did it. But if you kind of look at what teams are doing right now, there's some crazy numbers about how young everybody is in having success in the playoffs recently. And I'll see if I can find it. I wrote them down the other day. I'll see if I can find it for you. But and so I think the way you win in this league has changed with the new collective bargaining agreement. And so I think there is, there were all of the top 25-minute guys in the playoffs this year. There are only 2 of them that were 32 years or older. Tobias Harris and James Harden. Of the top 50 minutes guys, there are only 5 of them that were 32 years or older. So the league's getting faster with more ground to cover, and younger players are playing, and I think younger players with fixed costs are more important than ever before. And so your window to win is when you have young players under fixed costs. and it's before you have to pay him or before your guys get to be 32 or over. So, like, it's right now is a very important time for the Utah Jazz to try to win basketball games.
So with that in mind, how aggressive do they need to be to find a new solution at center?
Well, if the reports are true, the timing seems to have been inopportune or unfortunate, because there were two really good choices: Robert Williams, who re-signed in Portland, and Mitchell Robinson, who signed in Boston, that could have slid into mid-level exceptions and have signed. So who's, Keita had a pretty good year in Boston last year out of nowhere. Who's the Keita out there that nobody knows about? To win in the league last year, you did two things really well. You protected the rim and you defensive rebounded. You didn't allow people to get to the rim and you defensive rebounded. And we just got to make sure we can still do that. And if you look at all the teams that denied shots at the rim, and then also, not only denied them, we denied them, and then but once they got there, they scored every time, or 78% of the time, or something ridiculous. Who actually could really defend the rim, right? So you got to the rim and you didn't finish. If you look at that number on either Cleaning the Glass or NBA.com, I think it's Detroit, it's San Antonio, it's Oklahoma City, I think it was Boston. Like, it's all the best teams in the NBA. There's a real trend there. And then you look at the best defensive rebounding teams in the NBA, they're all the best teams in the NBA. So, Jaren Jackson's weakness as a center, and one of the reasons why I don't think a lot of people projected him to play center is defensive rebounding. And so how do we build this team to be a good enough rebounding team if Jaren's going to be playing some center? And then how do we make sure we can really protect the rim still? But, that's why true seven-footers get paid an awful lot of money.
David, 1 o'clock on Saturday, we're going to see Cam Boozer suit up for the Memphis Grizzlies going against Adai Mara and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's actually a pretty fun matchup. And then 3 o'clock, Darren Peterson makes his debut for the Utah Jazz against Kingston Flemings, another very fun matchup. What are you looking for? What are you excited to watch on Saturday?
On those guys that we're talking about, I do think it's worth remembering, like, they haven't played 5-on-5 basketball since March, right? The draft process does not help them get ready for Summer League. It's often why we've seen so many guys have tough starts to Summer League, and then they mean nothing. So I would just kind of throw that out there that, Donovan was obviously great that day, but there's also a lot of guys, like Darren and Cameron haven't played since Kansas lost, and who did they lose to? They beat St. John's and then lost to somebody else, or they lose to St. John's?
They lost to St. John's.
And then, Duke hasn't played since the kid hit Cameron hasn't played a game since the kid hit the crazy shot. And you just don't play any 5-on-5. You don't play a lot of basketball during the draft process. I think the thing with Darren is I think the goal to come out of this is too coachy for what people want to hear, but the goal is to figure out, what are the things that I need to work on between when my Summer League schedule ends and October 1? What's that going to be? And so the only way to know that is to be super aggressive in Summer League. And I know he didn't have a lot of assists in college. I'll worry about his passing in October. Go be aggressive. Go to the basket. Drive. Take shots. Figure out where you can get things. Be super aggressive. Shot a minute. I don't care. Let them fly. Because that's how you're going to figure out what you need to do between when your Summer League comes to an end and when you take the floor in October.
David, sorry to take you back to the Kessler thing real quick, but I was curious to your thoughts on his fit in L.A. and specifically his fit in L.A. at that price point.
Well, one thing I'd be fascinated about is that Walker's, if in fact these reports are true, I'll just say this in general in Walker's career, actually, that regardless of what's true or not true, or reported or not true, to this time, Walker has not been a good pick and roll big. Now, the Jazz don't run a lot of pick and roll. They run a lot of off ball. And Walker has not played with very many good guards, right? He played with a young Keontae and some Isaiah Collier, and he hasn't played with a very good guard. But he has not been a good pick and roll big. He came to the league on his tippy toes and did not set picks very well. He got a little bit better over the years when he's last year he didn't get to play much. And so he's going, if in fact that's true, to play with two of the three best pick-and-roll guards in the NBA, in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. Are they so damn good it doesn't matter who the big is? Because actually that's how it seemed in most of Luka's career. It just hasn't mattered. Is there a real skill that Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively and some of these other guys have had that we'll see? I think that'll be very interesting to see, because that has not been Walker Kessler playing pick and roll with a good guard has not happened in his career yet. Up to this point, Walker has not been a very good pick and roll big. So that will, if that changes and he ends up playing with good guards, I think that will be very interesting to see how he deals with it. He's a little vertical, so that when he's rolling the lane, if he gets bumped, he doesn't make it all the way to the rim the same way some other guys are more powerful. He's obviously way stronger than he used to be. So it'll be interesting to see. But he also, Austin Reeves was the number one pick and roll guard in the NBA 2 years ago, and Luka Doncic was the number one pick and roll guard for the 4 years prior.
Who's had a good summer?
It's crazy, right? Well, I thought we had. I don't think anyone in the West has gotten better. There's no one right now, if you told me in the West we're a lot better than they were a year ago, other than our Jaren Jackson deal, that I would just say, San Antonio, maybe I like Tobias Harris. I think that's an upgrade. Oklahoma City's done what they need to do, but they're not better, right? Denver's sitting still right now and has a Nikola Jokic contract offer that seemingly is on the table that he has not signed. I think he's been eligible for an extension for 2.5 weeks. I'd be really scared if I was in Denver, particularly because if reports are true, the LA Lakers now have a really good contract. They can sign for Nikola Jokic, trade for Nikola Jokic in 12 months. Just a thought. Mm-hmm. Minnesota's interesting, and I think they did what they could do, understanding how hamstring they are. But I actually don't buy the LaMelo Ball stuff. I like LaMelo Ball an awful lot. I think he's a great talent. But the truth is that Charlotte was good because they were an offensive rebounding team last year. Charlotte's half-court offense was 19th in the NBA. They were the second-best offensive rebounding team and the second-best team in the league on putbacks. You know who ran more than Charlotte last year? Minnesota. Yeah, LaMelo Ball's plus-minus are awesome. Who's their backup point guard? Right. So thank God his plus-minus was good, because we don't even know who was playing the other minutes.
Wasn't it Colin Sexton?
It'll be Ayo Dosunmu. Now with Minnesota, which is
no,
a
right,
good plus.
But I'm saying everyone's basis of why LaMelo's so great is because the Charlotte offense was 10 points per 100 possessions better when he was on the floor. That only is a statement of how gosh awful your backup is, not how great LaMelo is.
Sure.
So I don't know if I think Minnesota got a lot better, particularly if LaMelo's his ankles are questionable. The Lakers got better, if the reports are true, but they lost LeBron, and LeBron's a top 30 player in the NBA. And they're god-awful slow. Right? Aren't people just going to run them up and down the floor?
And Luka needs to be bought in.
We got baby watches. We got baby races at halftime that are faster than Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and Sando Mustivili. Seriously. It's not like Quentin Grimes is an elite athlete in the NBA to me either. And Colin Sexton will have J.J. Redick in a penitentiary by February.
Those babies are pretty fast.
Right.
Those babies can fly.
Clippers are not better.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Sacramento?
I think Sacramento and Memphis actually might have gotten a little bit better, but it doesn't matter.
Right. So who in the West is better?
Is Dallas better, would you say? They get Kyrie back.
Yeah, that's a big deal if he's all right. That's a big deal. I mean, they're still funky. That roster's weird.
It is weird.
And Derek Lively may not be able to play basketball again. There's something weird going on there.
Which is really sad.
Yeah.
Who are we forgetting? Anyone? Houston is better just because Fred VanVleet's back?
No, this was a good offseason for the West because a lot of talent stayed east or went east. Kawhi going east is good for everybody.
Well, in the East is way like Miami's better, Toronto's better.
Yeah.
Philadelphia's better.
Boston's worse. New York's worse.
Yeah, New York's worse.
But wait, Boston's worse unless Tatum can actually come back and play. Then they're probably about the same. Maybe better.
No, with Paul
Right?
George
Remember,
as
last year
opposed to
Boston had
Jaylen
no
Brown.
Jason Tatum.
Well, yeah, they were playing Brown, no Tatum. Now they're Tatum, no Brown.
Yeah, the key is having both of them.
Right, but that's if they're a championship team. But compared to last year's team, they're probably better. If Tatum's at full, actually okay, he may not be. Most guys aren't after an Achilles. And they add Mitchell Robinson, then they're actually better.
Yeah, they're right at the same 54, maybe a couple more wins, however many they ended up winning.
Though, Ben, have you done this math yet? Can you pull up the NBA standings?
Yes.
Okay. Let's assume for a second because of the new tank. I've not done this yet. I'm excited for this. Let's assume because of the new tanking rules that only Milwaukee and I think, is it Brooklyn? That somebody else has their picks.
Brooklyn, yeah.
So those two teams are going to be 2 of the 3 teams relegated. Everybody else is going to try not to get relegated to their single ball. So the low point of wins is going to be like 30 for every other team. Walk me through the bottom 6 win totals of the NBA last year.
Well, I'll tell you what, there are 8 teams that had 26 or fewer, and that's not going to be the case.
Right. That's a lot of wins.
Yeah.
Like what I was going to actually have you do, like for 17, that's 13 more wins. Off the top of my head, just doing it quickly, I think there's like 60 wins that are going to be redistributed from the top to the bottom. So when you used to win 54, if you divide that by 60 by 15, it's 4 wins. You're now winning 50. Like I think the 4th seed is going to win 50 games.
Yeah, you're right at about 60. I'm 39 plus 11, 50 plus 13 would put you at 63. If everybody got to 30, which is probably a little too rich, because you're right, a couple of teams don't care what their pick is and actually are fine hurting somebody by giving up their draft pick, yes, you probably get to around 55, 60 wins getting dispersed elsewhere or taken away from the top and added to the bottom.
Right. That's kind of like, so when people always ask me, like, how many games did the Jazz win? I'm like, well, they might win 47, and that might be the 5th seed.
I think
the standings are going to be way different next year.
Yeah.
Particularly now, also the amount of teams that are, like, pretty good.
Well, what happens? I'm curious with that race. What happens when you start being too good, and how far do you have to boot games? You know, as we kind of formulate this in our minds, well, how does the race actually play out? Where all of a sudden do they come back into the 20s because they have to hit the sweet spot? So then all of a sudden you're just changing the
There's
times.
a race for 28 wins as opposed to 17 wins.
Yeah, right. And then you're just changing the time frame, but teams are still booting games to be in the same range.
So it goes if you're in relegation, you only get 1 ball, right?
2 balls.
2 balls. And then you get 3 balls all the way if you don't make the play-in, right?
From 4 to 14, I think.
Oh, so if you make the play-in and lose, you get your 3rd ball back?
Yes.
So we're gonna have teams throwing the play-in game.
Yes.
Super.
Yes.
I know. That's what I thought too.
Yeah. You can get 1 play-in game if you lose the first play. I can't remember now what it is.
But yes, we will have teams booting the play-in game.
Yes,
that will
technically you
happen.
get 50% better chance by adding another lottery ball
My
by
point
losing
is,
the playing game.
it's impossible for the 3 of us to try and diagnose this when we've never seen it happen, and we don't know the effect of the race to get to the odds. I mean, it's so hard to forecast because I don't think this solution fixes tanking. I just think it changes it and changes which teams are tanking. So how do you point to, well, they're just going to win 30 games because they're going to be trying all the time? I think they're still going to try and win 26 games. They're just going to avoid 18. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, so then there's 50 wins instead of 60. But I just think there's a redistribution on that. The one I do think that's going on in the league, and I was trying to play the math on this last night, and it's too complicated for me, and even Claude couldn't get it for me. I think pick swaps are more valuable than they've been before. So,
I agree.
Because you now, by just like, if it just happens to be that both your teams end up in the, it's just unlikely that both teams are going to end up in the lottery when they're dealing with a pick swap, because the chances are you just traded something pretty good to somebody, and so therefore they're good, and then your pick swap doesn't come to fruition. I would love to go get some analysis on how many pick swaps have actually ever been swapped. Feels like they're the greatest line of a trade, and they almost never happen, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I just don't think that it's just a sign that one team thinks they're going to be winning and the other team thinks they're going to be doesn't know yet, and are hoping they might be winning when someone swaps. And so I don't think a lot of swaps come to fruition, and I'm just wondering if I guess the scenario here would be no matter what the lottery rules are coming up, which we don't know what they're going to be, if everything's flatter, swaps in theory are more valuable, but it still takes, as of right now, the way the rules are, it takes both teams to be inside the lottery for that to actually kick in, and that seems pretty unlikely.
David, do you think Luka, last question for me, do you think Luka has more control now over the Lakers than he ever did in Dallas? I don't know. I'm curious what you think.
Yes. I think they're running scared of Luka right now. Right now seems like a good time. There's two ways in which you can get franchises in the NBA to make bad trades. Okay, three of them. Hire Joe Dumars. Just kidding. Okay, two of them. That was a joke. Two of them is, one is have new ownership that's putting pressure on the GM who's trying to save their job. And two is have a superstar that's putting pressure on the GM. And those are the two scenarios by which GMs get forced into positions where they make deals they might not make otherwise. Both of those scenarios exist in Los Angeles right now.
Never be desperate. That's the lesson. Never be desperate. Do whatever you
Same
can.
Rule,
Do not be desperate.
Same rule that worked in 11th grade works in the NBA.
Yep. Nothing works for me in 11th grade.
Yeah,
so,
indeed.
I don't know.
I'm right there with you. I feel you on that.
David, thank you for coming on. We always appreciate your insight and wisdom.
Happy 4th, David.
Happy 4th to you guys. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, David. We appreciate you. That's our buddy David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz. We appreciate him jumping on with us and crunching through all of this.
I think some players are okay being not in control of a team, but having a say and being responsible and being involved. I don't think that's always a death sentence. You know, LeBron had his real flaws as GM LeBron. A lot of real flaws as GM LeBron. I'm really curious how Luka does it, if he is indeed in this role, and it seems like he kind of is.
I think oftentimes it is a death sentence. And if
I
I would
prefer it not be the case always.
If I were a franchise, I'd do everything possible not to empower my star players. And I know that sounds terrible, but look what James Harden did in Houston. I mean, I'd find an example of a success story. Maybe Jalen Brunson, the coup on Tibbs, and then kind of the more player-led kind of thing. I don't know, but usually it ends up in disaster.
Off the top of my head, I don't have a lot of examples of that was a good idea. That guy being more empowered or having some say, or the team bending to his will, resulted in something positive.
Now, this is more of a new phenomenon because, I mean, post LeBron, we've seen real player empowerment. So it's not like we can go back to the 80s
correct.
or whatever, because that wasn't a thing. It just wasn't.
No.
So I don't know. But if I were running a team, I would do everything possible to not put myself in that situation, because it just does. It leads to disaster. It leads to desperate moves you wouldn't otherwise do because you're feeling pressure from a player. David's right. It's the perfect storm for the Lakers. That the GM is getting pressure from the player and getting pressure from the ownership, and it leads to bad stuff. It does. They gave up way too much for Walker Kessler. Work or not work, they gave up way too much. I don't even think that's hot takey.
No, everyone agrees with you.
Yeah. All right. More next. Stay tuned. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move, and knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, these KSL Sports Zone. Independence Day is Saturday. Let's celebrate. Let's give something away, Ben. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. You're going to win a Lush flag blanket celebrating America's 250th birthday. Simple, classic, and incredibly soft. The Lush Patriotic flag blanket is perfect for celebrating this season in comfort. The plush Patriotic design is available in one size and makes a cozy addition to summer gatherings, holiday decor, and everyday lounging. Size to match a standard American flag. It also includes an exclusive America 250 Mickey Couture label created to commemorate the nation's semi-quincentennial celebration. Features the patriotic flag design on both sides of the blanket for a complete look from every angle. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE.
Good reading there.
Thank you.
That's a lot. No, it's good. Shout out to Minky.
Yeah,
wrap
we love
yourself up in a Minky Couture blanket.
Very patriotic.
Do it. I'm going to head up to the lake next weekend and wrap myself up in a blanket as well. I've got a Minky up there. So I have a paper bag that I keep next to some oily rags full of aerial fireworks that I will not be firing off because the governor has asked that we don't. And I don't try and put anyone in danger. Can I do poppets? Can I do sparklers? What's banned here? I haven't looked.
I don't know.
Do we know?
I'm sure poppets are fine.
I think poppets are okay.
Unless, I guess you're
But where's the line?
Are you throwing the poppets into a dry field?
Yeah, I'm throwing them everywhere. That's the fun with poppets.
Yeah. Are you standing in the dry field when you're doing your sparkler? Because that's probably not great. But are you on your street while you're doing it? I think you'll probably be okay. I don't think the police will show up to arrest you if that's the case. But alerting everybody to where you are with the ones that go up in the air, probably not good. But people are still going to do it.
Oh, yeah. They were doing it in my neighborhood yesterday. It was great. Full bans, no personal fireworks. Do they have to have a fuse?
Is that law? Or is this just the rec?
I don't know.
I think it's up to individual.
Violations may result in fines of up to $1,000.
Yeah, wow.
Now, this is Heber City. This is where you're actually going to be hanging, right?
Pretty close, yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, in my neighborhood, we haven't had fireworks that have been allowed for years.
But you guys are close to the up. It's dry up there.
Right. I was driving through Cottonwood Heights, and they definitely have a no firework kind of thing going. I think it might depend on where you're at. But I know the governor did recommend it, but I wasn't sure if they were going to have state troopers out, cracking skulls.
Probably rack up a couple of tickets while you're out.
Okay. Well, be careful out there.
I've got a map. I don't see what all is. I see the map. I don't see which fireworks.
Well, just be safe out there. Don't be like who's the football player, Corin Halfhand? What's his name? Jason Pierre-Paul. Yeah. That really damaged his career by blowing off half his hand.
Yeah, Dodgers fan when they won the World Series last blew up his hand on film. It was horrendous.
Yeah, let's not be safe out there.
Yeah, you're not going to do with poppets for the most part.
Let's not do any of that. You know what? A nice plush Mickey blanket, not going to start anything on fire.
Well, I see you got them snakes and sparklers, but where's good stuff, man?
Good stuff. This is the good stuff. Snakes and sparklers.
Are you nuts, dude? You need stuff to explode. Go boom. So you're going to tell me that you don't have no black cats, no Roman candles, or screaming mimes?
No.
Oh, come on, man. You don't got no lady fingers, buzz buttles, snicker bombs, church burners, finger blasters, gut busters, zippity-doo-dahs, or crap flappers?
No, I don't.
You're gonna stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, Husker do's, Husker don'ts, cherry bombs, nipsy-daisers, with or without the scooter stick, or one single whistling kitty chaser?
No, because snakes and sparklers are the only ones I like.
Not wrong. Snakes and spiders are great.
Sparklers?
Sparklers. I found a list. Trick noisemakers like snappers, poppers, and glowworms. I feel just like, is that Joe Dirt? I feel just like Joe Dirt here. Trick noisemakers like snappers, poppers, and glowworms are exempt from the state's ban. However, those caught illegally discharging fireworks can face fines up to $1,000.
Are you going to be narking out your neighbors?
No. This is a don't ask, don't tell neighborhood I live in.
Is that right? Don't even worry about it.
Mum's the word.
I didn't see anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That kind of thing?
I've never even met those neighbors. I keep the blinds drawn. I don't know.
I did see an article in local news on how to dime out your neighbors. I did see that.
It's disappointing.
Oh, I totally dime out my neighbors. Are you kidding? Now, in my neighborhood, absolutely. When I had a newborn, 1,000%.
It's where Christian is.
Yeah, Christian, you dime out your neighbors for sure.
I can't. Not on a 250.
I think you got to yell at them first, though. I think that needs to be the policy.
If it starts coming like, Sunday night, Monday night, then I might think about it. But like Saturday, I don't care.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
It's 250. You're right. It's
Yeah.
the semi-quincentennial.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my neighbor's like 85 and she lives alone. So if there are loud booms coming from her house, I might need to call the police.
You're calling the police for a different
Those aren't
reason.
fireworks.
Right.
Okay. All right. Good times.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to be lighting anything.
Snappers, poppers.
But
I don't even know what's a glowworm. I thought that was a candy.
you're the firework guy, dude. I don't know. I can't tell you the last time I purchased fireworks.
Husker do's, Husker don'ts.
I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen Joe Dirt?
No, I have not.
Joe Dirt's legitimately funny.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's great.
It's really stupid, but it is, of course, funny.
Did you like Tommy
glowworms
Boy
are
and Black
snakes.
Sheep?
Glowworms are just snakes.
I did like Black Sheep, yeah.
It's similar.
Yeah.
Except for it doesn't have Chris Farley in it.
Right, but David State's pretty funny.
David Spade's
Is he?
pretty funny.
And Kid Rock's funny in it too.
Yeah.
Is David Spade funny? I'm legitimately asking.
No, he is. He is. He's legitimately funny. News Radio was fun. Not News Radio. What was his?
He was not in News Radio.
Not Just Shoot
Just
Me.
Shoot Me was
that his?
Uh-huh. And I never liked it.
No, I thought it was funny.
You should watch Joe Dirt.
Okay. I'll give it a chance. I might go in with a tainted view, though, because I don't know if David Spade's funny.
Didn't his bodyguard try to kill him? Isn't that the story with David Spade?
To kill David Spade?
Uh-huh.
Like turn on him and kill him?
Yeah, like pulled a gun on him.
No
or
way.
Something. Like he woke up in the middle of the night with his bodyguard standing over him.
Man, whatever you did to make that bodyguard mad, that was a mistake.
November 2000, David Spade was violently attacked in his Beverly Hills home by his personal assistant, David Warren, a.k.a. Skippy Malloy.
Oh, it was his assistant. That's totally different.
Malloy broke in while Spade was sleeping, punched him, and used a stun gun before the comedian fought back, escaped to his driveway, and armed himself with a shotgun to deter the assailant.
Okay, do you think there is one personal assistant in Hollywood that doesn't want to do that to their employer?
You're right. When this news story came out, every personal assistant in Hollywood was like, I get it. I totally get it.
Bodyguard's a different thing. Personal assistant, I'm sure he wanted to murder David Spade. I'm sure that was a
I
thing.
think I assumed this was his bodyguard because I think I've seen a photo of this Skippy Malloy, and he was bigger than David Spade, but everybody's bigger than David Spade.
He's a
tiny person.
Tiny person.
He couldn't shoot a shotgun without, like, flying backwards like a cartoon character.
Okay. Good segment, Ben. Glad we gave away a blanket. Stay tuned. We'll have more next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast.
An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Systems go. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson. Now, every day from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to announce a winner. We do this every Thursday for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Today's winner, or this week's winner, John Hollian. And this is what was written in about his nomination. John is an incredible soccer coach to our teenage boys. He cares about them individually and has sacrificed countless hours to build them up as a team and to show each player that he is important. John would go the extra mile and give rides to team players who struggled to get to practice or games. He would also donate extra time and money for players who struggled financially. He has an excellent communication with parents, nominated by the parent of one of his players. That would be Melanie. So thank you, Melanie, for the nomination, and congratulations to John Holian. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But thanks for your great work. Awesome.
Very cool. Again, the effort of everybody to help the youth. My son was just doing a camp, and some adults went, just obviously took the extra step. I'm just like, it's not easy to do. It's just time. Just your own effort. It's your own money in this situation, and it gives kids a place to belong. So very cool. I really do love this segment. Yeah, I do too. I love it that we're a part of Beehive, and part of the reason that soccer is the world's game is because it's so accessible. So to hear of a coach going an extra mile for kids who may not have a ton of financial means, I mean, that actually is really a great part about this particular sport. Yep. Ben, you grew up on the skateboarding team, which is an incredibly expensive sport, no? Almost no, not at all. It's nice. It's really good for poor people.
Don't skateboards cost a lot of money?
They cost more now than they used to. A full setup when I was a young person was like $110. Now, I was amazed. I went back to the company I used to skateboard for and was talking to some of the people working there. They said it's almost $300 now. So that's insane to me. But, you don't have to replace most of it very often. You have to replace the deck itself, depending on how good you are. Some people weekly, which gets expensive, but if you're that good, you're probably sponsored already. If you're doing it monthly, which is probably about where I was, it could cost you about $30 a month. But big thank you to the people who took care of me. I would get one deck a month, and that was generally good enough.
What about all the shoplifting and vandalizing?
Well, yeah, tickets. The tickets were expensive, and I did get a couple of those.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now, and actually to that point, I thought they were extraordinarily expensive when they were happening to me. In retrospect, it was like $120, which is not fun. And thank you to my parents for paying a couple of skateboarding tickets that I got. That was very nice of them. But I didn't exactly, put the house at risk.
I don't know, Ben.
We weren't going to lose my parents' ability to retire because I got a couple of skateboarding tickets. But I had no concept of that in my day.
We're going to talk to Kobe Price coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour. He covers the Lakers for the California Post. He's going to jump on with us. We'll find out how Walker Kessler and that move is being received in Lakerland.
What would you think?
How Laker fans are?
Yeah, what would you... They've got to be over the moon.
Well, I think most of them are pretty excited LeBron's gone.
Okay.
And I think most Laker fans are probably on board with Luka, and Luka needs a center. So I would guess they're fine with it. And by the way, the Lakers have been trading first-round picks. They basically depleting their pick selection every year forever. I mean, it's not anything new.
Correct. And if you're around
Luka,
Luka, for some reason, he just sends first-round draft picks out wherever he goes. In Dallas, they were just sprayed everywhere.
Yeah, that's what LeBron did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what these win now, quote unquote, win now teams do. They spend future first round picks on stuff they need immediately. What Locke brought up, and maybe this is worthy of deeper conversation a little bit later, but I think what Locke brought up is totally a concern for if you're looking at it from a Lakers perspective. Walker has not been a pick and roll player at all for the Jazz. The Jazz don't run pick and roll.
Right.
I mean, they do, but compared to the amount of pick and rolls that the rest of the league runs, I think they were last year. I don't know, Ben, where are our analytic nerds who keep track of all that stuff? But,
low. Probably not last, but low.
But low. That's not their game. And as Locke pointed out, Walker, and especially having played before Keontae's real emergence, has not really played with a strong pick and roll guard ever. You know, when you're talking about a rim rolling big, which is what Luka wants and what he really thrives with, I don't know if that's Walker Kessler. He hasn't done that really.
Not a ton.
In his NBA career.
But
so
yes,
I'm
hasn't
not
played
sure.
with great guards to do it.
So yeah, is it the chicken or the egg? But I don't know if he's going to be, Tyson Chandler.
I bet it's more chicken than egg. I bet it's more the guards than Walker's skill set, to be honest. But, the Jazz signed Ed Davis before his gambling problem. But Ed Davis's issue and why he didn't fit with the Jazz was Quinn Snyder's offense was solely dependent on pick and roll.
That's it.
Bigs that rolled to the rim.
And he couldn't do it at all.
He couldn't do it at all. The worst I've ever seen at it. He could not set a screen and then get to the rim. So he was useless and he was off the team within like 3 weeks.
Yeah, they traded him before the deadline, like long time, right?
Yeah, and I think they waived. Who's the Green?
Jeff Green.
Jeff Green. They waived Jeff Green. I think they're just like, just go do whatever you want. You don't work here either. Bad offseason for the Jazz that year. But regardless.
Those were Mike Conley's buddies.
Yes, they were. Yeah, they just thought they were getting some good veterans. They weren't. But, yeah, that's going to be a big thing. Locke also brought up that now the Lakers have some salaries to trade, which is interesting. They don't have draft picks to trade. Walker at 40 or at 32 million is a pretty decent number. It would be a much better number if you had that and 2 unprotected first to trade with him. If you were going to go try and get a major upgrade somewhere else. I was just thinking about this today. There's not a way they could have figured out a way to get involved with Jaylen Brown. You couldn't have done an Austin Reeves sign and trade with 2 picks for Jaylen Brown? I guess then you don't have the picks to go get Walker.
Wait, though. You were just telling me how in control Luka is. Luka doesn't want that.
No, he probably doesn't.
Why would Luka want to play with Jaylen Brown?
No, he probably doesn't.
Absolutely not. And honestly, if you're just going to give your franchise to Luka, you don't want Jaylen Brown either.
But I do want guys who play defense.
Walker plays defense.
Plays a little defense, yeah.
And you got to have somebody at the rim if Luka's guy is going to blow by him every time.
But man, it would be nice if they had somebody who could stop you from getting blown by every single time. It's nice to have a last line of defense.
Sure,
but a first line of defense is pretty good too.
Okay, but that defensive player's only other skill can be standing there and shooting. That's it. You can't have a defensive player who wants to dribble because that's not going to happen. Jaylen Brown had his favorite year of his career because he was initiating the offense and dribbling the whole game. That's what that's what he wants to. Luka doesn't want to play with that.
No, he doesn't. Luka wants to dribble the whole game.
Well, he's already playing with that with Austin Reeves.
Uh-huh.
So you don't want to add another dribbler in there. That was the problem with LeBron.
It costs you Austin Reeves. You get Jaylen, you don't have Austin Reeves because you don't have the money.
But I would guess that's why they didn't want to do that. No, Luka wanted a big. That's what he said. That's what he's always wanted because he can't get himself open without a screen.
I wonder if there's a world where they could have gotten Jaylen and Walker instead of Austin and Walker. But probably not. They probably just didn't have the ammo.
Or want the ego.
Yeah, or maybe not.
Jaylen Brown made it clear that he wanted to be the number one dude on whatever team he's on. Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum's really good. So if you're not going to take a back seat to Jason Tatum, are you going to take a back seat to anybody?
Probably not.
I don't know if I'm signing up for that if I'm the Lakers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or Luka for that matter. But, hey, I don't know if I'm signing up for that if I'm Philly. But Philly did it. Probably because they got him for a steal.
Yeah, they got him for nothing.
They got rid of one of their headaches for a better player, and it only cost him 2 first-round picks.
They were going to have to trade a first to get off of Paul George anyways.
No, that's a great point. Yeah.
That was going to cost him
honestly, that's a great point. I cannot believe he has that contract. We were looking at that contract yesterday, and it is so stupid. Daryl Morey is the worst.
2 years, $110 million left on the Paul George deal. And what's crazy is that's the same thing Trae Young makes. But Trae has 4 years left.
Okay,
it's amazing the deals that got handed out.
Speaking of Locke, he came on. He said, "No, listen, these front offices are full of smart men and women." I would argue the contrary. I don't think I will tell you. I don't automatically assume front offices in the NBA are smart because they're front offices in the NBA. Case in point, Daryl Morey has made a career out of being a below average GM and somehow managed to stay around for 20 years.
I fall into both categories where the more I've talked to front offices, the more I understand how weird things happen. But I also think there are still clearly people who get to a spot of desperation and act desperately because there's a somewhat finite amount of assets out there you can go choose from, and so they end up making bad decisions.
Also, talking about David Locke and his conversation with us, I don't think there's any evidence out there that Brad Stevens has any idea what he's doing. And David said that if the rock star breakup is happening, that's the front office's job to smooth that over. Mm-hmm. That's literally their job. That's what David was saying. And he is totally right. So if the situation with Jaylen Brown was so bad that you basically had to trade him for nothing, that's on Brad Stevens. Locke called it maybe as bad as the Luka Doncic trade. Mm-hmm. That's on the front office. I totally agree. I'm not convinced he knows what he's doing at all.
Yeah. And if the front office doesn't know how to do it, ideally you have a coach that does. Well, you hired the coach. I get that the Ime Udoka stuff fell apart underneath, their feet, and they weren't prepared for that.
Yikes.
But they did go out and pick Joe Mazzulla. Now, to Joe's credit, he won a title, and
he's
he won
been pretty
Coach of
good
the Year this year, but he may not be the guy who knows how to mend some of these fences, which is also part of the job. If that's what the job requires, that's what you have to do.
You have to do it.
And he may not be able to do it. And as a result, if he can't do that, you end up trading Jaylen Brown for Paul George. That's a problem. Jerry Sloan, we talk about the Zen Master a lot, Phil Jackson, how good of a job he did. Jerry Sloan kept a lid on Karl Malone for 18 years. It's crazy. Karl is a lunatic. Now, and I'm not even talking about before he gets to the Jazz. I mean, like, calling radio stations, wanting people fired, wanting out because they signed certain players, wanting out because they didn't sign certain players. And Jerry Sloan found a way to, once training camp started, get everyone pulling in the right direction. Jerry was actually really good handling those personalities as well.
So was Larry Miller. He deserves credit for that one, too.
But that's the organization. It's the organization doing a good job with some of those things.
Karl had a radio show in L.A. blasting the Jazz every single day, including saying he would never play for the Jazz again. Mm-hmm. And Larry Miller just said, you know what? This is just Karl doing what Karl does. He'll come back home. And 10 minutes later, Karl's like, I just love the Jazz.
He's weeping.
Just love the Jazz so much.
Yeah.
I mean, even that's a strategy, right?
Absolutely.
You know your guy. You know what you got to do.
Yeah. Could the Celtics have just let Jaylen air it out, get it all out of his system, and then 2 months from now come back and say, hey, we're really happy you're here. We really like you.
Apparently not.
Yeah, they couldn't. They didn't know how to do it.
All right, more next. 4 o'clock hour straight ahead, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Not only do these guys give you the best Jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jay Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Somebody actually did the ride like this song describes, and the Hollywood sign was not on her right or something. It was not. Is that a thing?
And then some people said, well, if she's sitting in a limo and she's facing backwards.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe it's on the other side.
Okay. I do like this song. Mm-hmm. But who doesn't like Miley?
My wife.
Really? Mm-hmm. Not into Miley?
Hate her.
Doesn't like Miley or Taylor. Not doesn't like, there's hate there.
Actively doesn't like Taylor.
Actively doesn't like Taylor or Miley.
Believes Miley is better doing covers than her original music.
Okay. Well, I love a good cover.
It's like the Spasmatics.
Wow, there's a throwback.
I don't know what their original work is.
Are the Spasmatics still playing Liquid Joe's every weekend?
I don't know. I've never seen them, but I know what their thing is.
That's like a 30-year run if they are.
Yeah, they're going for a while.
Ben, we'll continue the NBA conversation, but I saw, this was a couple hours ago, but Anthony Simons signs a deal with the Sixers, 2 year, $12.3 million. Man, Portland should have traded him years ago.
Yeah.
What were they doing? He was a guy who had a ton of, maybe not a ton of value, but he was a guy that people thought were going to be pretty good just a couple of years ago. And to sign a basically, minimum deal, at least it's 2 years, but that with Philadelphia. I guess maybe he wants to win. But, man, your value in the NBA, here's where I guess I'll transition here. Here's where I don't blame Walker Kessler for honestly trying to go out and get as much money as he can. Your value in the NBA is fleeting.
At best.
It really is. And the guys whose value continues on and on and on is just a rarity. I mean, you've got to strike why somebody thinks you're good, because you know what? It might turn out that you're not. Christian and I were talking about this off the air about Ja. You know, people were convinced Ja Morant was good until they weren't. And then what happens to that dude's value? Mm-hmm. You know? And by the way, Ja wins because he's going to come out of this regardless with millions of dollars. But he was supposed to be one of the faces of the league going forward. And man, is that fleeting. It's gone from that to, wow, what is Portland doing with that disastrous trade? Trae Young, I think he could say the same thing, even though he just got paid.
Anthony Simons, Colin Sexton are a good case study or it's what I think makes the job really difficult. Colin Sexton averages 24 points a game. It's like his third year in the NBA. Now, he was doing it on a terrible team. Mm-hmm. Anthony Simons averages nothing his first 2 years in the league. 4 points, then 8 points, then 8 points his third year. Then jumps up to 17, 21, 22. That's exactly when Portland should have traded him. He averages 22 points a game, and you say, great, got to get rid of him. But then you also say, no, he's 24 years old, and he's averaging 21 points a game, and he's shooting 37% from three, and the league is heading towards guys who take 9 threes, and we want to build around him. And that's when the job of the front office has to really understand what they have or think they know what they understand. And honestly, it just might be a coin flip for some guys. And this really comes down to what the Jazz have right now with Keontae George. And everything Keontae George is showing is a positive. Shooting's getting better, decision-making's getting better, buy-in's getting way better, leadership's getting way better. All of the stuff is getting better. 3 years from now, are we sure he's not Anthony Simons?
Yeah, exactly the point.
I don't know. So, yes, Keontae needs to get paid himself, but at the same point where you say, man, Portland should have traded him forever ago, like, the Jazz got to feel that way too. Not that they have to trade him, but you have to, there's just no way they have full confidence in any one player to be anything long-term.
But if I'm one of these young players, you've got to parlay it in before the narrative on you has played out. Let me try to. Enes Kanter signs a max extension. What Walker, the deal Walker just signed, for its day, Enes actually signed a way better deal.
Uh-huh.
His numbers in Utah were okay, but he was given a pretty good role where he touched the ball a lot and he got a bunch of rebounds. Mm-hmm. And then he goes to Oklahoma City. He signs a max extension, and that's the last deal he ever signs.
Correct.
He's basically out of the league, 2 years later?
He might have gotten a minimum, but yeah, he was basically out of the league.
Billy Donovan says famously can't play Kanter. And
ends his career.
And it pretty much ends his career. Well, let me ask you this. Did Enes, was he a max guy that forgot how to play basketball? Or was he never that good to begin with, but he got an outsized role based on his draft pick, and he got a max extension based on, if we want to be nice, we could call it potential. But what it really is you don't know how good he's going to be. So you'll pay top dollar just to find out. It's almost like paying to see the river, right? But Enes was never awesome. He just had a bigger role that gave him better stats. And so that decision on, is this guy a 20-point? Anthony Simons is going to be in the league forever. He is. He's good enough, and he's got the skill set. But he was never going to be a 22-point-a-night guy on a successful team. Never.
Right.
That was never going to be a thing. So how do you diagnose that? With Keontae George in particular, the squads that the Jazz ran out last year, he was the only one on the team.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at his point total and what he scored last year, what was his
24 points a game.
24. Is that real? Is he a 24-point-a-night player on a good team? Or is he somebody who has potential, so he was given a huge role, and now he's negotiating on, well, I've got to get this money before somebody figures out that I'm not a 24-point-a-night guy on a good team, because that's no guarantee. Bradley Beal scored whatever he did, in close to 30 points in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
On a good team, what does he score?
Right. Not a lot.
No, I mean,
not 30.
18?
Yeah, maybe 21.
17, 19, whatever it is.
Yeah, but not 30.
But at no point in his career was Bradley Beal a 30-point-a-night guy.
Right.
Even though his stats say that he wasn't. Because he was on dreadful teams. LaMelo Ball. Was he the best player in the league that year? He led the league in usage, and his points per game was above 30, but his team only won 16 games or whatever it was. Is he ever a 30-point-a-night guy? No. So how do you keep yourself from making a dumb decision? Because what's real and what's not? I mean, that's why these guys, even the great Sam Presti gets buffaloed by Max Urgul and signs Ennis to a max extension, It's a delicate thing. Walker, take as much as you can now, because you know what? If you really are a stiff, they're going to figure that out in the next year or two. And I'd rather be an overpaid stiff than an out-of-the-league stiff.
Yeah, right.
So get that bag. I mean, why did Andre Karolinko get his max deal? Because he made the All-Star team on an overachieving bad team. It was an overachieving bad Jazz team, and he made the All-Star game, and all of a sudden everybody's saying, oh, this is the next guy. This is the next guy here in Utah. And I don't blame people for getting excited, but that did not turn out to be true and did not turn out even close. But how do you make that calculation on these young players who do want these big extensions because they want to make big money? It's part of the problem with the NBA middle class disappearing, in all honesty. And David was talking about how you have to win with these dynamic young players on rookie deals, and I see why he would say that. But the truth is, not every young player is all that dynamic yet.
Correct.
And may never become dynamic. So how do you value that? If Darren Peterson is the lead guy on this Jazz team, why would you give Keontae a ton of money?
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is the whole key question with Keontae, and probably why the deal doesn't get done this summer. I'm sure Jazz fans right now have a huge appetite to get a Keontae George contract signed, even at like $35 million a year, because you don't want to feel the way next year you feel right now with all the Walker Kessler stuff. You don't have the appetite to go through another restricted free agency on the off chance you could lose him and take another step backwards, which I think the Jazz took a little bit of a step backwards by losing Walker Kessler. So you say, well, I hate that pain. I hate the way that felt. I'm not going to feel it again, and I'm going to make a bad decision to avoid it. The Angels, to their credit, historically, and I'm sure Justin Zanuck as well, have more patience than Jazz fans and will say, look, we think Keontae's not Anthony Simons. We think Keontae's not Colin Sexton. But we don't know. So it's probably better to wait a year, because the Jazz, even without Walker, are still competing for a top 8 spot in the West. Not making the postseason, I think, would be a disappointment for the Jazz this coming season. Put Keontae in games all year that have serious stakes and see how he does. And if he's awesome, great. He's worth the $35 million you pay him. And if he's not, he's Anthony Simons, or he's Colin Sexton, or some of these guards who go out and put up big points and they don't really matter. And, when push comes to shove, what they offer is not that valuable. Then the contract adjusts accordingly. But you can't adjust the contract after you pay him. That's the problem. So I think the Jazz are probably, I've not heard this at all, but my guess is, because of this exact conversation we're having, are probably more likely than not to hold off on a Keontae extension unless they get a smoking deal.
Yeah, unless they can get him on a bargain.
They can get him on 4-year, $100 million. You probably sign him. 25 a year is probably not bad. That's AAV. That's fine.
Thank you for clearing that up. I was extremely confused.
That's probably how you do it.
But what is Keontae's role, do you think, when it's all said and done on a good team?
I think he can be a starting point guard on a good team. I do.
Is he 24 a night?
Probably not.
On a good team?
No. The same reason Bradley Beal's not 31 a night on a good team.
Can I bring up
He's probably 25% less on a good team.
Can I bring up an example, a really old example, but one that I'm really familiar with? I'll have to explain all this to Christian. The Charlotte Hornets, their first year, their inaugural season in 1988. We had season tickets to watch that team, and they had 3 former Jazz players on them: Del Curry, Ricky Green, and Kelly Tripucka.
Yeah.
Kelly Tripucka was the best player on that Hornets team. A Hornets team that was terrible, by the way. Keep in mind, expansion team. They were terrible. He was the best player on that team, and he was averaging 22.5 points per game, and he made the All-Star team that year, Ben. Now, the Jazz, on the other side, traded Kelly Tripucka to the Hornets, and I think it was Mike Brown ended up being part of that trade.
Nice.
But that very same year, the Jazz were pushing the Lakers to 7 games or whatever it was in the playoffs with John and Carl. Is there any chance that Kelly Tripucka scores 22.5 points a game if he had stayed with the Jazz?
Not a chance.
Not a chance. But he goes to Charlotte where they don't have anybody on the team outside of a rookie Rex Chapman and Muggsy Bogues. And he's going to have this huge, if he's an all-star. Was he ever an all-star caliber player?
Probably not.
Never. So how do you judge it?
Yeah.
How do you judge it if you're a good team? And this comes all down to how much do you pay and who do you pay? I think the Jazz, you can make an argument that the Jazz really dodged a bullet with Gordon Hayward leaving. Even when he was healthy, and maybe this isn't fair because he got hurt, but he never was a max guy on a great team. Shout out to Tony Parks. I remember him telling me that this dude is never going to be a number 1 on a playoff team. And I was like, Tony, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't think he can be that good. Tony was totally right.
Yeah.
So the Jazz didn't max out Gordon Hayward. They plug in Donovan Mitchell, who turns out to be a way better player and a way better candidate to be a number 1 on a playoff team than Gordon Hayward.
Right.
That could have honestly sunk the Jazz. Gordon Hayward might have done them a huge favor because he was never that good to begin with.
Probably. And look, apples and oranges. Center, point guard, Kessler, Keontae, totally different positions, totally different production, totally different histories, totally different personalities, totally different relationships with the front office, with the coaches, etc. But the fact that the Jazz wouldn't pay Kessler probably gives you a sign, at the very least, that they have some doubt that any of the production they've seen in recent years is actually worth
Is
banking
actually
on.
real.
Probably gives you some sense. Not entirely. They did pay Lauri Markkanen. They probably overpaid Lauri, but they paid Lauri Markkanen $40 million a year for putting up a lot of production on really bad teams that were supposed to lose, and who else was going to score? Well, the 7-foot guy who shoots.
How about this? Much like the running back role in the NFL, the running backs just aren't worth that much. With the Jazz, as opposed to the Lakers, the center is worth way more to the Lakers than it is the Jazz, just based on how they play.
Yep.
Because the Jazz don't really highlight the center. I mean, Will Hardy, you can correct me if my X's and O's are wrong.
No, you're totally right.
But the center is not what his offense is all about at all.
No.
I don't know. Nurk had 3 triple-doubles in a row.
Playing point guard. That's my point. He wasn't even playing center.
Correct.
He was playing point guard. So I don't know. I don't know if that position is worth playing,
I'm not sure
paying in Will's offense.
I'm not sure what Walker did, especially offensively, was all that valuable. Defensively, guys who protect the rim, rebound, et cetera, have value. They will always have value. There are some universal truths in the NBA. I do believe that. But I think if you just read the tea leaves, the Jazz have not made huge votes of confidence that the production they've seen from young players necessarily has all that much value.
How real it is.
For this exact fear of the Anthony Simons fear.
Right.
Because he's signing 2-year, $12 million contracts. And Anthony Simons, it's not like he's 40. Anthony Simons
No, he's still like 27, right?
Yeah, because he came into the league when he was 17 years old. He's exactly 27. He's 27 and 24 days. That's a guy who should be going into his prime.
And he's signing basically minimum deals with Philly?
Yeah.
To go play a minor role?
To be a backup.
Yeah.
To 2 other really good guards. It's tough. I don't know the right answer. I truly don't.
Life comes at you fast.
I've said this a lot. Recently, I've really been recognizing it. The closer I get to this, the longer I do this, the less at times I feel like I know. Honestly. Things I thought were easy are not that easy. Things I thought I could predict become unpredictable. Things I said would never happen do happen. The more information I get, the less my kind of maybe naive truths become as I get a little bit older. Maybe I'm just getting soft.
No, we're all just one too many mornings and 1,000 miles behind, buddy. Welcome to the club. That's how it works.
Yep, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what you do with I don't know what Keontae's going to become. I'll tell you what, when I was 25, I bet you I thought I knew what Keontae George was going to become. The same way somebody thought they knew what Anthony Simons was going to become, and they gave him whatever, $25 million. You know what? Credit the Cleveland Cavaliers. They would not pay Keontae or Colin Sexton. They included him in the trade for the Jazz, and they didn't give him a contract extension. The Jazz signed him for $18 million, which was actually not a terrible,
Cleveland,
terrible
not
price.
Detroit.
Did I say Detroit? Cleveland, excuse me. Cleveland traded Colin Sexton to the Jazz. Jazz only paid him $18 million. It didn't really hamstring anyone. There was probably somebody in the Cleveland front office wanting to give Colin Sexton a bunch of money after averaging 24 points, saying this is the next him. He's our next great player post LeBron, and they showed some restraint, and it was the right move.
It turned out that way.
Turned out that way. It's
new Laker, Colin
the
Sexton.
really hard part about that job, and I have told a lot of people I don't really envy that position. I'm sure they make unbelievable money. I'm sure it's fun to have some control. I'm sure some of these decisions, when you actually have to make them, your job's on the line, you have to answer for wins and losses. It's hard.
Yeah, I'd feel more bad for them if the downside wasn't they get fired and go buy an island.
Correct. No, I'm with you. Yeah, right. Would everyone do it? Of course, everyone would.
What was noted bozo Daryl Morey doing right now?
Correct. He's jet skiing.
He's in Maui.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Across the Strait of Gibraltar. He's having a great time.
He's having a fantastic time.
Yeah, life is good.
I'm not going to cry for that guy for 1 second.
I'm with you. But
So,
I do
it's
recognize
hard,
that the job
but-
is hard.
It's hard, but the downside, like free climbing is hard. The downside is really bad.
Really bad. And it doesn't pay that well.
Right. Not great.
It's a love. That's a real love of the game sport.
God, I can't imagine. How do you even? What type? I wonder what personality type truly is attractive. Like I have buddies that are avid rock climbers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any of them like free climbing Yosemite. I mean, that just seems.
You know what?
That seems like a little too much.
I don't know how you feel about this movie, but it's probably right on. Point Break, they like nailed that guy. Bodie, or is it Brody?
I haven't seen that movie either.
With Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. Like, they're bank robbers who are rock climbers. It's like, right, that's probably accurate. You're a psycho. Like, they're the adrenaline.
I thought they were surfers.
Surfers, yeah, not rock climbers. Sorry, surfers. Jeez, I'm all over the place. Surfers.
I haven't even seen the movie. And I knew that.
Bank robbers.
Uh-huh.
Well, the new one, they're like cliff diving and they're jumping out of airplanes, and it's
There's
terrible.
a new one?
Yeah, they remade it. It's horrible. But yes, they're adrenaline junkies. So yeah, the Alex Honolds of the world, the free solo guy. Yeah, if he's not climbing mountains, thank goodness he's climbing mountains, because otherwise he's holding people hostage. just to feel something.
That's a wide gap there.
Well, that's what Point Break's about. You should watch it. 10 out of 10.
I do love Swayze.
He's so good in it. Might be his best.
Have you not seen Dirty Dancing? Please.
I have seen Dirty Dancing. He's so good in Point Break. It rules. That movie rules.
What's the movie about the book everybody has to read in junior high?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
No, he's not in that.
He's not in that. Greg Peck.
And Bob Duvall.
That's right.
He's in all the best movies. It's
We've got
just
3 chapters
it's
left. I'm
just
reading
a
to my
thing.
kids.
No,
We've got
you
3
know what I'm
chapters
talking
left.
about. He's in it with Tom Cruise and the Karate
Outsiders.
Kid. There you go. Thank you.
I never read it.
No?
No.
Thought they made everybody read that.
Well, just because I got assigned to read a book in high school did not mean it crossed my eyes.
All right, more Jake and Ben next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast. An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Just doing it big, you know?
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Anywho.
Jake and Ben. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. We have breaking Taylor Swift news. Apparently, she's already married.
It's done.
Apparently, they got married, and in secret. And this whole thing at Madison Square Garden is just a celebration. So she has to inconvenience millions of people.
Hey, I know a guy who did that.
Just for a celebration. Wait, what? Ben?
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what I did too.
Oh, I don't care if they get married in secret. I just want, if you're gonna, put a dead stop on one of the busiest blocks in the entire world, on one of the busiest weekends, I don't know, ever. Couldn't it at least be for the ceremony?
Did you see the reports that your invite had it was a digital invite. The digital invite had a watermark. So if you screenshotted it to share it or sell it to TMZ or whatever, they would know it was yours specifically. And your invite came with an NDA that you had to sign, that the NDA was so aggressive that you couldn't even reveal what the fine was in the NDA if you revealed that you had signed it.
Seems like a lot.
Just don't sign it. Right?
Well, then you can't go.
Yeah, but you get to sell.
Oh, then you get to sell the information to whomever. You get to make money from Page Six or whatever.
Yeah. But maybe they have like nice gift bags. Maybe it's like the Oscars where you go and you get something good from the Swift Kelce combo just by being at MSG.
See, now I am a huge narcissist, so we had a really big wedding. I didn't shut down city blocks for a big wedding, but we did have a lot of people there. I thought your celebration was very appropriate.
Okay.
It was a good time. It was small. Everybody had a smile on their face.
We shut down the patio of a restaurant.
The food was good. Just a patio, though.
Correct.
Not a
Should we
whole...
shut down 9th and 9?
Yes, I think we shut down the restaurant, actually. Like, they didn't have space otherwise. But, yes, we didn't shut down 9th South and whatever, 3rd West.
It was about you two, but it wasn't like...
The whole city didn't have to have it about us. Only the people that were there.
That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
I'm not a great example of this, but I feel like you are. But I feel like Taylor and Travis are making this, I think this is too much.
I 100% agree.
And you could at least have your ceremony there if you are going to disrupt everybody's life.
Now, I don't know what it's like to be Taylor Swift or Travis Kelce, obviously. I don't know. Is your wedding that privileged? Does it need to be that private? Maybe it does. Maybe these weddings that we've seen that are just an absolute circus, maybe it's just way too much and they wanted to have a little bit of normalcy at some point in their life. And bizarrely, it's actually more normal to shut down parts of Manhattan to have a wedding than it would be to just have a normal wedding and let people in. Maybe it's actually more normal to shut down part of the biggest city one of the biggest cities on the planet to do it. I don't know. But it's a lot.
By the way, by the time Walker Kessler finishes his deal, it'll be at 34.8, if people were wondering.
Walker's deal? That'll be a high end?
That's his player option, 34.8.
Oh.
So it's actually
That's a pretty flat deal.
Next year is going to be 30.2. The year after, 31.7. The year after that, 33.3. And then the year after that, 34.8.
Well, good for Walker. We were just talking about it with Anthony Simons. Dude got paid. Dude got his money. He wanted a lot, and he got a lot.
Kind of. The Jazz kind of screwed him, I think.
Again, Walker got a good dollar amount, probably a little bit above kind of the standard market value for what good, not great centers get. $30 million is on the high end. It's above Jakob Poeltl. It's above Miles Turner. But with inflation and what the league has and the rising salary cap, it probably makes sense. It's probably pretty close to market value.
Maybe, but I'll tell you.
Yes, had he been a true unrestricted free agent, he probably would have made 38 or 39.
If the Jazz didn't work out a sign and trade, he would have been $39 million. But the Jazz worked out a sign and trade, so
yeah.
But I bring that up because I don't want people to look at the first year of that deal and say $30.2 million. The Jazz couldn't step up and match that. How did they not match that? Because the number the Jazz would have to match would have been significantly higher.
Right. If the Jazz weren't going to play ball. And credit the Lakers. Actually, Pelinka did force the Jazz to play ball. He convinced the Jazz that he was willing to offer such a big contract to Walker that the Jazz did feel like they had to give. They had to break.
Buckle on their number.
They absolutely buckled.
Yeah.
No question about it.
But it's smart. I mean, because if you don't buckle on your number, then you have to either match it, and it's crazy overpaid, or you get nothing as opposed to 2 firsts and 2 swaps. And I bet, as they kept adding more picks and more swaps, I bet that number kept coming down.
Yeah, exactly right.
And
yeah, one pick, we'll match at 37. 2 picks, maybe we'll match at 32. And that's where it gets.
Have we seen an update on Jalen Duren yet?
No, he's still a restricted free agent.
His leverage has evaporated.
It has. Unless he really thinks the Kings can get him. But the Kings don't have the cap space to even make the offer.
Well,
it has to be an understood sign and trade for Sabonis.
Well, and
the Lakers could just go out there and make the offer.
Right. Well, and they're trying to get rid of DeRozan, right?
Yeah.
Because he's got like $10 million left.
He's going to end up getting bought out. It's going to be something silly. You know what I mean? Some of those guys, they're just like Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson had $10 million on his deal last year. The Jazz just said, Jordan, you've been good to us. Like, just we don't want to have to make an excuse for why you're not playing. Just go. Like, here's your money. Take a little bit of a buyout. Take a little bit of a haircut. We'll give you your money or whatever it is and go take your thing. And they may have not even taken a haircut. They may have just given him his full buyout and let him go choose his team. I would be surprised if they do that with DeRozan and he ends up in Miami.
Although my opinions on all these may be null and void, I got a talk snap, Ben, from Lanny Baxter, who says, huge fan, but just lost so much respect for Jake because he's never seen Point Break. Are you serious? Going to be tough to respect your opinion about anything.
That seems aggressive.
Because I haven't seen the movie? I didn't even say I didn't like the movie. Usually I say I don't like the movie.
That's a Jake go-to.
And people blast away. But I haven't even seen this one. I know about it. Surfing Bank Robbers. I knew that going in. I know his name's Johnny Utah.
Yep.
I just have never.
I think it's Bodie.
No, it's Johnny.
It's Johnny.
It's definitely Johnny.
No, I'm talking about Swayze.
Oh, Swayze. I know Johnny Utah's in it because I had like an abnormal amount of friends growing up whose name was John.
Yeah, so everyone's name was that.
And most of them went out of state for school.
Bodie.
And every single one of them came back with the nickname Johnny Utah.
I went to high school with a kid that they called Bodie, and I didn't know because I hadn't seen Point Break. And now that I realized that was a bunch of kids that gave him that name, those kids were smart. They were right on. This guy was absolutely Bodie. He pulled a knife on a guy one time. Crazy.
Again, it takes such a dark turn with you.
Well, life's a dark place.
I thought this listener was losing respect because he haven't seen Joe Dirt.
No, but apparently Point Break was
weekend double feature.
Was his breaking point
for $250. Point Break.
Very American.
Joe
movies.
Dirt. Yeah, they are. Kind of a funny look at American masculinity in both of them.
I don't think I'm going to watch either of those movies, but
we'll start with.
Dude, by the way, until Christian sees Almost Famous, he can't tell me to watch any movie.
Correct. I was going to say maybe you guys need to do a movie swap.
Let's do a movie night.
Almost Famous for Point Break. I'm getting to make the pick. Christian probably wouldn't suggest Point Break. He'd probably suggest Joe Dirt.
Almost Famous watching that should be a requirement just to work on this show. We don't require much of anything.
Oh, I like that idea.
But to work on the Jake and Ben
idea.
show, I think you should be required to watch Almost Famous.
Okay.
For a variety of reasons.
Like Megan or Sarah, when they got hired, we should have been like, well, sit down. We will continue. You will get your second interview with us after you watch these
after
movies
you watch Almost
and
Famous.
come back with something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's only fair.
I think that's totally fair.
All right. Audio Vault is coming up next. Stay tuned. And then coming up at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, we'll get a Laker perspective with Kobe Price. Covers the Lakers for the California Post.
It's hard to be named Kobe and cover the Lakers.
He spells it differently. So that's got to help at least.
You can ask him.
Yeah, you can. Go for it. All right, more next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast. An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
No crazy soundbite slips past these guys.
I came here for the same reason people go to the zoo.
This is another edition of the Audio Vault with Jake and Ben. On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. Thank you for making us part of your day. All right, it's time for the Audio Vault, the best sound of the day. Now, Christian, help set this up because this is a couple. A couple decided to climb the Empire State Building. Is that right?
Yeah, this video, I guess it happened yesterday. It's these like daredevil couple. They scaled the very top of the Empire State Building, took some pictures. The guy proposed to her. You'll hear that in the clip.
They had a flag.
They had a flag.
A huge flag that said like
something about peace.
The power of love is stronger than the love of power. Something to that.
Okay.
A little cutesy, but you know what I mean.
All right. And then he decided to propose. Well, we have now this is the radio traffic from the NYPD helicopter. Let's play how that sounded.
Yeah, what's all the hoopla going on over there? Two geniuses climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, the top of the spire. Oh, that's awesome. It's a little hot for that, isn't it? It's just the beginning of this week. It's not some worker changing a light, is it? Nah, it's a male, female, dressed in black. They had some flag they were waving when they were up at the top. And he just proposed to her.
Wow.
Shout out to the NYPD. I was I enjoyed my trip to New York a lot. They are on every street corner. They really are. There's a police officer everywhere you go. A lot of them are just kind of drinking coffee, hanging out. But I think it really probably has the reason the city is so cleaned up is probably because of their presence everywhere. The apartment I was staying in, luckily through a connection to my brother, was literally looking right at the Empire State Building. I cannot believe they didn't do this last week because I would have had a chance to lay my eyes on these people. It's also literally like a block away from where Taylor Swift is getting married right now. I can't believe they didn't throw a Taylor thing out there. You really want to go famous, throw something about Taylor up there.
This is kind of a sick thought, but let me ask you this. When you see people do things like this, are you kind of cheering for them to fall?
I think they're kind of betting on you betting on that.
I mean,
because doing it at the top of Sears before it got torn down on 9th South and State Street, there's no risk. So they don't care. They understand that you're going to care because there is actually some risk that they're going to perish.
But like when the Jazz had that silly dunk team, part of me always hoped they'd hit their face on the rim.
Sure.
Does that make me a bad person?
Yeah, a little, but, it's not unnatural. You're up in the stakes a little bit.
When the guy parachutes into the football stadium, you kind of want him to hit the scoreboard like the Virginia Tech guy.
Like the guy who actually did that.
Yeah.
You're exactly right.
I feel bad about it, but I am secretly rooting for that.
No, it's baked in. And the good news is, and where I'll trust these people, because, hey, they made it, and then they got back down. They've already been released, right? They got a trespassing ticket, and somebody climbed on top of the temple? Didn't they put a pumpkin on top of Moroni's head?
I don't remember that.
Do you not remember that?
No.
Yeah, somebody did that. That was crazy also. You get a trespassing ticket, you get a big fine, you go to court in a couple of weeks.
So it's worth it.
For these people, probably.
But imagine the trauma they would cause others if they actually did fall.
If they did perish.
So maybe it should be more than a ticket.
Have you watched, we're talking a lot of rock climbing here. Have you watched Free Solo?
No.
That is the most painful thing I've maybe ever done in my life.
Watched the movie?
Have you watched it, Christian? It is
it's crazy.
Devastating to watch. And you know he makes it. And still, every second of it sucks. So the fact that these people actually did it, now it clearly can't be that hard. There's ladders. But it is really windy.
I think there's a big safety net around.
There is a safety net around that, but you only have to fall 30 feet to die. I don't know how far. It doesn't have to be that far. Now, they weren't even close to the edge of the Empire State Building, right? I mean, they are in the spire, in the middle, and it has these little tiers that kind of go higher. Still, once you're up there, you're looking over all of Manhattan. I'm sure it's terrifying. But they did it.
I don't even like being on the ski lift with the bar up.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Put that bar down.
Yeah.
I don't know why people are so obsessed riding up the ski lift with the bar up.
I support their message, but it's an ultimate, all-time lame flag to bring up there.
No, I think everything about these people is dumb.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think
that's
these,
totally fair.
what did the helicopter guy say? A couple of idiots? I think that pretty much hits it right on the head.
That is the best. That's the best part of the video is the New York cop aspect of all of it. Of just we see crazy people all day, every day, and you're just a little bit higher in elevation than the rest of them. But you're the same bozo that's yelling on the street.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I do like...
Two geniuses climbed to the top of the Empire State Building, the top of the spire. Oh, that's awesome.
It's great.
It's a little hot for that, isn't it?
Yeah, I love immediately the awe factor of it is gone. The second they hear the call, the awe factor of what do you mean they're on top of the Empire State Building? There's none of that at all. It's just isn't it hot outside?
Just the beginning of this week.
Now, I kind of
wish.
wish.
Can't impress these people at all.
Now, I kind of wish that he would have gotten close enough with the helicopter to make them uncomfortable. Not
kill anyone.
Not blown them off the top of the building, but
King Kong style.
Things really shaking.
But
You gotta wipe them away.
There's a lot of wind coming down from the helicopter. You know what I mean? They got to grab onto something. He's got to forget about the proposal and worry about getting blown off the top of this building.
Or it knocks their flag off and the flag goes flying.
I kind of like that.
That would have been funny.
Like that?
Yeah, just like that. I would have absolutely like to have seen it. Again, not off the building, just
not kill anyone.
No,
but embarrass them.
But you see him kind of helicopter's getting close. I can feel it. Coming up next, we'll get back to obviously the NBA offseason. Walker Kessler is on the move. We'll get the Laker perspective from Kobe Price. He covers the Lakers for the California Post. Stay tuned. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are live at 5, and it's brought to you by our friends at Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call 855-TRAJAN-1 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. The Walker Kessler trade continues to be big-time news, Ben, and we're going to get the Lakers side of things coming up in just a second. In fact, let's go ahead and get out to the zone phone. Joining us now, he covers the Lakers for the California Post. He's Kobe Price with us here on Jake and Ben. Kobe, thanks for a few minutes. How are you?
Thanks for jumping on.
Oh, no, thanks for having me on. How you guys doing?
We're doing terrific. I guess, how are Laker fans feeling today? Is this what they imagined the team looking like in the first year post-LeBron with Luka steering the car?
I mean, the most optimistic Lakers fans, sure, but this is just what they hope for. I mean, Luka's spoken on it, or not publicly, but, well, yeah, actually publicly. He's spoken on it publicly, the desire to have a top-flight center, a top-flight big man. And, yes, I know, Walker Kessler may not be the most proven big man in the league, but he fits the description of the archetype of center that Luka likes to play alongside. Rim running, finishing at the rim, protecting the rim, deterring the rim, big body. And this has been the Lakers' biggest target for a while. I mean, the Lakers have been looking at Walker Kessler for going on 4 years now. So, again, even the most optimistic Lakers fan, they could have hoped that this would be the case, but a lot of them didn't even imagine this would be the case.
What's the reaction for what the Lakers had to give up and the overall value of the contract?
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, right? I mean, 2 unprotected first-round picks, 2 pick swaps, in addition to the $130 million over 4 years. And it's not just that in a vacuum. In the bigger picture, those are, that's really it in terms for the Lakers in terms of draft capital. To use in a trade, whether it's to acquire another player or to trade one of your own players to make roster room. At this point for the Lakers, I think all they have left is they can use other pick swaps, or they have a 2033 second-round pick to trade, and that's it. So it's a lot. And I wrote this in a column for the California Post. This was their guy. This was the Lakers' guy, and this was the guy or one of the couple of big men centers that Luka wanted. And this is not just about getting a player like Walker Kessler, who's obviously he comes with his own upsides, his own attributes. This is also about making Luka happy, because something that Lakers fans already know and people within the Lakers are well aware of, Luka only has 2 more seasons guaranteed left on his contract before a player option in 2028. So the Lakers are on the clock, and there was a lot of pressure this offseason to take advantage of the salary cap space and take advantage of Rob Pelinka's favorite word, the optionality they had at their disposal.
So do you think this is viewed by the Lakers right now as, I don't want to say a finished product, they haven't played together, but the product that has a chance to win a championship? Do you think that's what they were trying to accomplish yesterday, or do you think they were just trying to take the first step towards that?
think it's both. I mean, they acknowledge that, being the Lakers, you're always trying to put together championship caliber rosters, even if ultimately you don't accomplish that goal. But this is a step. I mean, one of the other things that the Lakers, as they were transitioning from the LeBron James, Anthony Davis era, then the LeBron James Soul era, and then LeBron James Luka, you fully transitioned to the Luka era. They need to build a team that complements Luka, and it's hard to do that, or very challenging to do that within just one transaction cycle, right? Like, it can take multiple transaction cycles, and that takes time, but you need to do it piece by piece. You need to be able, and we saw it in Dallas, a trade deadline here, a free agency there, another trade deadline. You add one or two players who complement Luka, who can be around for the long haul. And Walker Kessler fits into that category. A player who fits alongside Luka, it's a building block. They, this summer you can say that they maybe not added to, but they brought two back or added to in Austin Reeves, Walker Kessler, two building blocks alongside Luka who can be on the team for the foreseeable future. So it's not a finished product. They know their weaknesses. They know they need more help on the wing. They know that they need a better perimeter defense, more athleticism on the wing. But it is a significant step, maybe the most significant step to having a championship caliber roster, was having a player of Walker Kessler's caliber and ilk alongside Luka and Austin.
What was the reaction to LeBron leaving?
I mean, the same reaction that anything LeBron James related brings about in Los Angeles. Mixed reactions. Some people happy to see him go. Because the reality is that, the Lakers / Los Angeles didn't embrace LeBron in the same way that they've embraced going down the line of Laker legends. Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, even players like James Worthy, Robert Horry, Derek Fisher, because LeBron came or he joined the Lakers at the stage of his career that he was in, he wasn't embracing the same way. However, there's also a sad feeling of, look, this guy, LeBron, he spent more time with the Lakers than he had with any other team consecutively, or consecutive seasons rather. So, LeBron, he brought the Lakers back to relevancy after, it's been a while, but the Lakers for a very, significant amount of time, at least by their standards, were irrelevant. He brought them their first championship in 10 years in 2020 when they won the title in the bubble. He helped, he was part of the reason why they were able to trade for Anthony Davis. He, was one of, the leader of the team when they got to Western Conference Finals, multiple playoff appearances. And then obviously all the records that he set or all the accolades he racked up while he was a Laker and countless memories. So there was, again, mixed emotions to the LeBron Lakers tenure ending after, an up and down 8 years.
Looking at some of the other moves that they made, Colin Sexton comes in, somebody we're very familiar with. Mamas Kelishvili's in there. What do you think about this roster overall? I mean, this should be a top 6 playoff team in the Western Conference, I would think.
Could you please repeat his last name one more time? I need to be able to say it myself now that he's on the squad.
I think it's Mamus Kelishvili, but I could be wrong, but that's always what I've heard.
That sounded good to me. He had confidence, right, Kobe? You just got to say, you could say anything. Just say it with confidence.
Mamu, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been calling him Mamu since he entered the league. But, yeah, you're right. You said it with confidence, so I believe that that's the way that it was said. So I'll take note of that. But, no, I mean, what's interesting about their moves, I mean, obviously the Walker deal, that's kind of that started their free agency signings, getting Walker in that signing trade with the Jazz. And then after that, you mentioned, I'll call him Mamu since I don't have the confidence to say his name the same way you do. But Mamu, you get Colin Sexton, you add Quentin Grimes. Individually, each player, again, we're talking about building around Luka and then also in mind Austin and Walker. Each player makes sense in their own right? Like Colin, he adds the shooting, the secondary ball handling, the toughness. Quentin Grimes, he has off-ball score, he can get downhill. And Colin also adds a playmaking element. And then Mamu just an all-around, he can score a little bit, can pass a little bit, handle, big man, stretch the floor. Each player in their own right makes sense. But as a collective, a lot of questions about, are those players the caliber of players as a collective for what the Lakers needed? And then also on top of that, the contracts they gave out specifically to Grimes and Mamu, between Walker, Quentin Grimes, and Mamu, these are all 4-year deals with player options at the end of them. So significant investments across the board in free agency. Colin Sexton obviously gets a 2-year deal with a player option on the second year, but it's not, it doesn't look like a championship caliber roster, to be honest, right now, but they're not done. They still have 2 roster spots. They still have a little bit of room to, again, add that defensive-minded wing. So they still have opportunities and chances, but it's getting tougher after all the moves they did make.
Kobe Price is with us from the California Post. I'm curious with the new ownership. We saw ownership change here with the Jazz a few years ago, and Ryan Smith kept some faces around, and he changed others. Obviously, he brought in Danny Ainge and then Austin Ainge, but Justin Zanuck, who was here under the previous ownership group, has stayed, and there are other examples within the building. From an outsider perspective, it seems like the Lakers haven't changed much, right? They still have the same GM, the same coach. I'm curious, do you expect more things to change? And I guess maybe this is a long-winded way of asking, does Rob Pelinka maybe feel the pressure of having to improve or impress his new bosses?
Well, I'll just the first part of that. I mean, yes, on face value, right? Like Rob Pelinka is still the president of basketball operations and general manager. JJ Redick's still the coach. That's been the case for the past couple of years, and for Rob, almost the past we're getting to almost a decade now. But there have been a lot of changes internally within the Lakers. I mean, they've cleared out the business side, including bringing Lon Rosen from the Dodgers, hiring him as the president of business operations. And really, there were a lot of changes, like an influx of changes on the business side of the operations. They had, significant layoffs at the end of May in a variety of departments. So even on the less forward-facing positions for the Lakers, there were a lot of changes over the past few months, and almost, going back to October when the sale of the franchise to Mark Walter was made official. So there have been changes. There have been considerable changes, and even right now they're redoing the practice facility, and that's the other thing. Like the Dodgers-Lakers connection, the Lakers are taking advantage of that. They're adding new medical labs, testing labs. Like they're revamping their practice facility in light of their G League team moving out to Coachella Valley and having just more space. So, not as many forward-facing changes, but still a lot of changes happening in the background. Now, the Rob Pelinka part. Yes, I don't think it's a secret throughout the league. We're just talking about someone in the league about this yesterday. There is pressure on him, and he knows that. Everyone understands that. This summer, this offseason is a crucial one, was a crucial one, and remains a crucial one for Rob Pelinka's job security. Even with him, getting the promotion to president last year, and even with him getting a contract extension, we've seen that Mark Walter, as owner, he'll be patient. But we've also seen that if you don't deliver on the expectations that, a Mark Walter operation has, and that is very similar to what the Lakers operation is, which is compete for championships and win championships and put together championship caliber rosters year in and year out, you're going to be out of a job. So, and we saw that with the Dodgers. Mark, the GM at the Dodgers, was there for a couple of years, but they weren't delivering the way that was needed, and they hired Dave Roberts, and obviously since then it's been great for them. So yes, Rob Pelinka feels that pressure. He knows that pressure, and that's why this offseason was so crucial in a variety of ways.
The Jazz are getting Jackson Hayes to come in as a backup center, I would imagine. I don't think he's starting on this team next year. There are fans that are concerned about it. He has a checkered history with domestic assault and resisting arrest. What was he like to cover as a person?
Yeah, I mean, all of that is accurate. I also like to point out that at least the league never, at least with me specifically after asking, but, never – there was never a public closed case on that in that regard, but in terms of the league's investigation into the matter. But in terms of Jackson, he treated the media well. Doesn't take away from obviously the things that you're saying, but he treated the media well, and he was good to cover.
You going to miss the circus that is covering LeBron?
Excuse me, what did you say?
You're going to miss the circus that is covering LeBron James from just a media side of things.
Yeah, sorry. It is a circus. It is a circus. I mean, part of me will. The circus part of it, sometimes there'll be, even if when it's not his fault, drama that surrounds him that's not necessarily his fault. I think back to earlier this year when the whole documented rift between him and Jeannie Buss, or maybe Jeannie Buss toward him. It'd just be a lot of unnecessary drama. But I also will say, I've been covering LeBron I had covered LeBron rather for the previous 3 years, and to be able to cover and be around such a legendary player and just learn what it's like to cover a player of that caliber, that's something that's been extremely beneficial for me in my career. So in that regard, I've been lucky to be in this position to do so, and it's going to be weird. I mean, this upcoming season will be the first Lakers team I've covered that doesn't feature, LeBron James, and that's just like it is going to be for everybody else. It's going to be a transition for me too.
What's it been like covering Luka, and do you think that will change now that it's not LeBron's team?
I don't know if Luka will so much change, but I mean, more is going to be required from him as a leader, quite frankly, inside and outside of the locker room. I mean, he's already been the face of the franchise, but because LeBron was there, he didn't have the full weight and responsibility of being the face of the Lakers, if that makes sense. There's a pressure, there's an expectation that comes with that, and on the Luka side, part of that is also winning a championship or championships. So it's going to be interesting, to see how that, how he navigates through that pressure, because obviously he's been a great player, right? Back in Dallas, he was a great player, but it's different in LA. It just simply is. And I'm sure LeBron could attest to that. He could tell Luka about that. The pressure is different when you're trying to win a championship in LA versus, for LeBron, Cleveland and Miami, and then for Luka, Dallas. So that's something that I think will be interesting to document, just how he handles that pressure as being the true sole face of the Lakers.
Well, Kobe, thanks for jumping on with us. You're going to enjoy covering Walker Kessler. He's good with the media, and he's kind of goofy and friendly, and he'll give you a quote. So you'll enjoy covering him.
I'm looking forward to it. I've heard good things about Walker, so I'm looking forward to meeting him. We've actually met before, but he may not remember. But I'm looking forward to talking with him more regularly, and everything that he'll bring to the Lakers.
Well, thanks for jumping on with us, Kobe. We really appreciate it. Great stuff.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
There you go. That's Kobe Price. He covers the Lakers for the California Post.
Yep.
I don't know. I've never covered a player that I would consider a circus. Jimmer maybe a little bit, but I wasn't really on the front lines covering in the locker room for that.
Certainly not every night.
No.
And especially on the road. On the road, now maybe a little bit with Jimmer, but you weren't on the road with Jimmer.
No.
But when LeBron comes to town, media members make a big deal out of it. LeBron's in town. Go ask him a question. Go talk to him. Go get him on video. It does translate well. Ask about local players, yada, yada, yada. Some of the old tricks in radio or media, I should say, that people like to do. So losing that is a big deal. And it's probably a positive, honestly, for the reporters. But as I said, LeBron is a little bit of a golden goose for reporters in the past. Talked about Bill Oram, who became the lead columnist up at the Oregonian, and Kyle Goon, who became the lead columnist out at a paper in Baltimore, in his hometown. Just because they went to L.A. and covered LeBron. Now, they're also talented writers, but I will pull back the curtain. There's a lot of talented writers. There's a lot of people who can cover sports well.
I think that has more to do with L.A. than it does LeBron, honestly. But although LeBron does garner attention, that's the reason why even though we consider his run with the Lakers somewhat of a failure, the Lakers probably made $1 zillion from just having LeBron on their team.
Do you think either Kyle Goon or Bill Oram have LeBron on their resume as far as I covered LeBron and the Lakers?
No. I hope not.
I don't know. Okay, let me ask you this. If you covered the Clippers, would you say I covered the NBA in Los Angeles or I covered the Clippers?
I'd be honest and say I covered the Clippers.
Well, it's not going to help you. You got to lie in that situation, man. But when was the last time you made a resume? It's probably been a while.
It has been a while. And by the way, it should have everything to do with who you work for and your work, not what team you're covering, which is
I would love if that was true.
Is a misconception. It is true.
Is it? You sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of disagree.
Well, I don't think that I mean, the Knicks and the Lakers are a little different because they're big markets. I mean, the media hubs in the United States are L.A. and New York. You want to know why writers advance and they want to go there. It has way more to do with the market than the actual team. It has to do with what paper you write for and the exposure you get writing for it.
Sure.
But I don't think, like, all of a sudden, Oklahoma City isn't a big city. I don't think all of a sudden their writer gets a huge job somewhere else simply because they covered a good team.
Okay, that's fair. You probably have to have both.
I think you can move up through the media business covering an absolute crappy team. What kind of work do you do?
It gets easier to get your work noticed because you write in Los Angeles or New York than it is OKC.
Exactly what I said, but it has nothing to do with the team that you're covering. If you have a job at the LA Times, you're going to have something on your resume that's going to help get you in the door pretty much everywhere in the country. Has nothing to do with covering the Lakers.
Who covers the Clippers?
It doesn't matter.
Who covers the Clippers for ESPN?
I don't know who covers the Lakers.
Yeah, you do.
But that's ESPN. We're talking about local writers. ESPN. You don't put I cover ESPN, cover the Lakers for ESPN. You say I work for ESPN. I cover the league. I cover the NBA. I write for ESPN.
I kind of bet you still put the Lakers, to be honest with you.
I don't think the Lakers have anything to do with it. I really don't.
I kind of think they do. Honestly, I think they do. I think people like to see that. I think people hiring like to see you worked for a big team, you covered big names, you can handle then wherever you go next.
But see, that kind of thinking leads to something that I just hate in media, where people whose job it is to cover something all of a sudden identify with it, like they're somehow a member of the team or a member of that, which I find gross.
I'm with
and
you.
And totally counterproductive. So I actually refuse to believe what you're saying, whether you're right or not, because that's gross. You cover a team, you're not on the team. The team's success or failure has nothing to do or does not reflect anything upon the people who are covering it.
In a perfect world, you're right. In a vacuum, in a perfect world, you're right. Unfortunately, that's not accurate.
I don't think Bill's advancement through the business has anything to do with the Lakers at all. I think it has something to do with Los Angeles. I'd listen to that argument. Or the papers he wrote for in Los Angeles, but I don't think it has anything to do with the Lakers. Wendy's success has to do with LeBron, but that's LeBron handpicking somebody to put at ESPN. That's not what happened to Bill.
No, it did not happen to Bill.
All right, but I thought Kobe was really good, so all this success to that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I root for everyone to have success, yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll have more next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Finding ways to be financially savvy is a smart move, and knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream home or new ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough by Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to byoptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
Just doing it big, you know?
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Thursday to everybody out there. Happy Independence Day. We're going to be off as a station tomorrow, and then we will be back on Monday. And then we're going to be live from Big 12 Media Day starting on Tuesday, Ben. Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yep.
Which I haven't done a Big 12 Media Day in Dallas, so I'll be curious to see how this goes.
Same. I've never been to Dallas.
Ever, period?
Ever, period.
I covered the Armed Forces Bowl one year when BYU played Tulsa?
Mm-hmm.
That was fine. I haven't spent much time there, but that was kind of a fun bowl game to cover at SMU Stadium. Riley Nelson won. That BYU team won 10 games. I think it was their first. It was either their last year in the Mountain West or first year as an independent. I think it was their first year as an independent. But I'm expecting it to be hot.
Woof.
And I'm expecting to be bothered that I'm not in Las Vegas. Because if at least I'm going to be extraordinarily hot, at least I could be in Las Vegas.
I would have felt pressured, not by our bosses, but by my own job, to go and take in summer league games that night. And I'm glad I'm not able to do that.
You don't want to go to summer league games?
I don't want to do both.
Okay.
I don't want to go straight from Big 12 Media Day, hike across Las Vegas, even though it's actually not terribly, terribly far, but try and get a car, then go sit in the gyms at Vegas and try and catch a couple of games on what's going to be a pretty quick turnaround for us.
Locke was on the show earlier, Ben, and he had a hot take right out of the gate. He compared the Jaylen Brown trade that we broke on the show yesterday to being as bad as the Luka Doncic trade. Now, before I get your reaction to that hot take, should we listen to Bill Simmons, who's a podcaster, former ESPN guy? Doesn't he like own Spotify or something crazy?
He created The Ringer, which he created in the ashes of Grantland, which he started at ESPN, which was kind of a crossover between culture and sports, that ESPN kept Grantland, ruined it, shut it down. So he started The Ringer and sold it to Spotify for like $200 million. Something crazy.
Nice to be him.
Good. Bill's a legit media genius. He knows how to do this very well.
But he is also an obnoxious Celtics fan.
He is.
Like horribly obnoxious.
Everything goes back to something Boston.
Yeah.
No matter what he talks about, somehow the Celtics, the Patriots, or the Red Sox come back into view.
It's amazing he's been able to parlay the world's wordiest blogger into some sort of media empire.
He is truly a great podcaster. He might be the best podcaster in the world. He is so good at it. He's so funny, and this is an example of it.
Here's
Come out. My wife's waiting.
Go ahead, Christian. It's fine.
Come out. My wife's waiting to pick me up. And she goes, they traded Jaylen Brown. I'm like, I had just woken up from anesthesia, and I'm not, as you guys know, not really coherent. And I'm like, where'd he go? And she's like, to Philly for Paul George and 2 first-round picks. And I'm like, I think I'm dead. I think I died. The anesthesia killed me, and now I'm a dead person. And I'm like, and I'm just trying to process it, and it's like I have a head injury, and I'm like, are there more first-round picks? Did they get the Clippers first? And she's like, Zoe's really upset. So now my daughter, who likes Jaylen Brown, and I'm like, all right, can you read me what the trade is? And she reads me the trade, and then I stumble out of this hospital place.
Yes, the part we missed of that is the relevant part, that he was getting a colonoscopy and woke up to the Jaylen Brown trade, which is, as you mentioned, Locke said, one of the worst trades of all time, or has the potential to be as bad as the Luka trade. There is something about Paul George in NBA circles, and maybe it's just that the contract matches up, or you can always sell yourself on a high-scoring wing that's kind of a two-way player. The team that trades for him always wins the next trade.
Trading him away?
Trading him away. Mm-hmm. You lose the trade acquiring him, but you win the trade sending him away.
Oh, that was true with Oklahoma City. That was not true with the Clippers. He was a free agent.
They get Harden? Did they get Harden for him?
I don't think so. No, they played together for the
that's
Clippers.
right.
No, he left the Clippers as a free agent.
And signed with the Clippers.
And signed with Philadelphia.
Totally spaced that. And then, yes, gets traded by Philly. Well, gets traded by the Clippers to Philly? No, or just signed with Philly as a free agent?
Just signed with Philly as a free agent.
Daryl Morey gave him that huge contract. You're right. And then gets traded to Boston. I just think the money is big enough that other stars generally have to be involved. And then you can always kind of stomach the idea of Paul George, and generally somebody throws some picks in as well.
Paul George was not part of. He was part of this trade, but he was not. He was not a incentive for Boston to make it. Part of the reason why it's just amazing that they did. You said it yourself. Philadelphia was going to have to pair a first-round pick to get off of Paul George.
Yes.
So he's not.
It's almost a negative value.
He is a negative value. Yeah, not almost. He is a negative value. That's why I would argue that's why this trade is so bad, is because you did not bring back. I mean, Paul's not even going to play. He didn't. He was on a drug suspension last year. What did he miss the year before? I mean, he just hardly plays. He's average at best when he does. I mean, I don't think Boston. Do you think they really even care about getting Paul George? That's why Philadelphia stole Jaylen Brown. The only positive I can see for the Boston Celtics is that Jaylen was so toxic that he was going to submarine the team next year. Like they could not have functioned, so they had to get him off the team no matter what. That's the only positive, an addition by subtraction. Other than that, I might come along with Locke that this might be as bad as the Luka trade.
Post-COVID, so beginning in the 2020-2021 season, which was shortened to, 72 games, he has played 54, 31, 56, 74, that's the high water mark, 41, 37 games.
So he played 76 in his free agent year.
I think that's a good way to read it.
Yeah, right.
And then barely plays. And then, yes, this last season, to your point, he averaged 17, 5, and 4.
So Boston's not trying to talk themselves into Paul George. Boston had to get rid of Jaylen Brown. They were in a bad position. They were desperate, and they made a bad trade as a result.
Paul George is certainly going to start for them. I don't know how many games he's going to play. But, yes, if the comparison is basketball talent to basketball talent, Jaylen Brown is 1,000 times better right now than Paul George.
And 25 years younger.
Yeah.
And strangely similarly paid, which is wild.
Has one more year on his contract. But there is a belief, there is a lot of people circulating that think that Wyc Grousbeck, who just sold the Celtics to a private equity company, wouldn't have done this. And that this is private equity doing what private equity does really well. Figure out how to make the most money, not care about winning basketball games. And overpaying for Giannis Antetokounmpo in a trade or Jaylen Brown 2 years from now when you sign him to a huge contract extension is not the best move for a private equity company. It's not. You're not going to make as much money. But it is good for a basketball team. And if you want to win as a basketball team, you have to accept that sometimes you have to foot the bill. Sometimes you have to eat money to not win as much in the hopes that later you can win as much. Or you overpay for wins, but you want to win and you want your team to win. And if private equity doesn't want that for the Boston Celtics, they're going to have to figure out how to negotiate that or just accept that that's never going to be the purpose of the franchise.
By the way, I do feel like it's important to I'm not changing your point by any means, but the owner of the Celtics is Bill Chisholm, and he is the owner. Now, he made his money as a partner in a private equity firm, but that private equity firm does not own the Boston Celtics. So maybe Bill is bringing a private equity mentality to running the Celtics. But I just want to make that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's totally fair.
In the world of Otro Capital.
Correct. That's very fair.
I feel like we need to make that distinction. Yeah, maybe he's going El Cheapo on it. I don't think paying Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum Supermax contracts is probably all that feasible going forward. We've talked about how rough the penalty is for being in the second apron. I don't think Boston had to make that decision today.
No, they didn't.
Or yesterday,
Absolutely
I guess
not.
it was. They didn't have to make that decision now. I would buy more into the personality conflict than I would some sort of private equity deal. And by the way, and Kyle, we're talking about a Locke today. Shout out to David. He was on earlier, and we're talking about him a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if Milwaukee passed on Jaylen Brown because they found out that his market sucked. Because Milwaukee's not trading for Jaylen Brown to play him.
Shams came out and said that initially Philly came to Boston, or Boston came to Philly, and said, it's all your picks, plus VJ Edgecombe, who just finished third in Rookie of the Year voting, if you want to get, and you have to take Paul George, I believe, if you want Jaylen Brown. So it's everything you have, your best rookie young player, and a bunch of draft picks. And Boston, of course, said
No, Philly.
no. Philly said no. Excuse me. Philly said no. And by yesterday, Philly was the last man standing, and Boston had no other place to go and just had to take whatever Philly would offer.
Which was significantly less.
Certainly didn't get VJ Edgecombe and 5 picks.
But yeah, Milwaukee would not have traded for Jaylen Brown to somehow start building around Jaylen Brown. Your favorite thing, that the window doesn't match
doesn't
up.
open.
So they were going to turn around and flip Jaylen Brown. And
Correct.
if there's no market or nobody wants Jaylen Brown, then
don't trade for him.
then don't trade for him and
Yeah.
take what you can get from Miami, which is what I think is likely
That's
happening.
probably very accurate.
I think, and this is kind of the theme of the week, I don't think anybody in the NBA wanted Jaylen Brown, his persona, at that price point.
I think that's probably
And
true.
when I say his persona, I mean that this is a guy that obviously wants to be a 1A on a team. Like, he's not going to come in and say, hey, he's not going to pull a Mike Conley when he got traded to the Jazz and say, hey, how can I fit in with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
He's coming in to say, hey, I'm the Supermax guy that just took my team to number 2 in the Eastern Conference last year with nobody else on my team. So fall in line and give me the basketball.
Streaming with you guys, chat.
Nobody wanted that.
Yeah.
Particularly at that price point. Now, Philly is desperate in their own weird way because they still have Joel Embiid and they've got some nice young players, but they're probably telling themselves they should win now because they've got players on a bargain deal. So this is our time to be Oklahoma City or whatever. But I don't know if this is going to do it.
Boston probably could have traded Jaylen Brown in a move similar to what we saw Miami do with Jimmy Butler, which, remember, Jimmy became a total headache as well.
Yep.
He was actively combative within the Miami locker room. He wasn't around the team. I think he was getting sent home from things.
He did. Yeah, he games with the Jazz.
And they still found a way to trade him because Golden State was desperate to put a winner next to Steph Curry. And actually, for the rest of that regular season, they were really good, and then they flamed out in the playoffs, and I think he got hurt, and then it didn't matter at all. Boston probably could have been patient, waited till the trade deadline, found a team that was desperate, that wanted a Jaylen Brown to pair with whoever their star is if they thought, well, maybe we can still salvage this season with this Hail Mary, and that's going to be Jaylen Brown. And they were impatient, to your point where they probably didn't need to make that move yesterday. For whatever reason, they felt like they didn't have the guts to wait out Jaylen Brown and then find the best deal for themselves, which really does pay off. If you have patience, you're probably going to get a better deal. You just have to deal with some discomfort for a while.
Again, I don't think Brad Stevens knows what he's doing.
Danny Ainge, and I'm going to say Danny because it was Danny and Justin Zanuck at the time before Austin got here. You know, the Jazz traded Rudy Gobert on July 2nd, 4 years ago to the day, to today. The Jazz traded Rudy Gobert, a day after they traded Royce O'Neal. And Donovan was on the roster, and everybody knew the Jazz were going to trade Donovan. They knew it. Quinn Snyder had already left. The Jazz were turning the page.
Yeah, we were here doing the show.
We were here
I
doing the
remember
show.
quite well.
And Danny didn't trade Donovan on July 4th or July 12th or August 10th or August 19th. He waited till September 1st because he was fine with the discomfort. He did not get rattled by the idea that everybody knows the Jazz are trading Donovan. Donovan's saying this or whatever. His people are saying this or he wants to be in New York. All the pressure is he's got to be in New York or Brooklyn. Danny didn't care. Ryan Smith didn't care. Justin Zanuck didn't care. They just let the price be out there and see who wants to raise and who wants to raise and who wants to raise. And then by the time the Jazz felt like, okay, we're probably at a little bit of a deadline, we actually have to take the step forward, they found a pretty good deal from Cleveland to get a bunch of picks and Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton.
And Walker Kessler.
Well, no, that was in the Rudy.
No, that was the Rudy drill. Yeah,
Ochai
you're right.
Agbaji.
Yep.
And pulled the trigger. But they didn't mind that summer stunk. They didn't let that temporary discomfort force them into this trade, force them into R.J. Barrett, Quentin Grimes, and a couple of draft picks from the Knicks.
Yep.
They said, no, we want a better deal. We're going to wait till we get the better deal. I'm sorry, Jazz fans. This is going to hurt for a little bit, but we will figure it out. And I think that willingness to have a stiff upper lip helped the Jazz. And I don't think Boston has it without him.
Stay tuned. We'll get to voicemails coming up next. If you have something to say, leave us a voicemail. Go to KSLSports.com or the KSL Sports app, hit the voicemail feature, and you can leave us a message. We'll get to that straight ahead. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hot take to Christian. There used to be a restaurant called Training Table. That was a restaurant back in the day where you would sit down and order from a phone. Their fry sauce was barbecue sauce and mayonnaise. So just think about that. Love you guys.
What's up, Jake and Ben? This is Chris. I've got a suggestion for the show based on some of your recent conversations around fry sauce and ketchup and peanut butter. Kind of reminded me that there's a bit of a gap in the market on KSL Sports with some recent changes about food talk. And so I wondered maybe we could mix some more food talk into our What You Got Wednesdays and maybe replace some of the movie takes. I know that's kind of your lane, but yeah, let's mix it up. People like food. It's a fun debate. So yeah, just a thought. Love you guys. Bye.
Hey, long-time absorber, first-time caller. Just wanted to say, hey, appreciate you guys doing the show. Thanks for all the Jazz coverage.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for leaving a voicemail, Jacob. We appreciate it. First one was from Corbin and then from Chris. Training Table dipping sauce was amazing.
I don't remember it at all.
Oh, it's amazing.
Chris, did you ever go to Training Table?
I don't think I did. I remember seeing commercials for it.
But you know the whole thing?
Right.
There was a phone at your table and you picked up the phone and ordered.
Yes.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, growing up in Brigham City, like coming to Salt Lake was a huge event for us. So we hardly ever made it down to the big city.
Yeah.
Hey, spare me your Training Table slander. I loved Training Table.
That's fine.
That was my, you know what?
But that being the gimmick by itself is absurd. Just have a server come over.
It sounds cool to me. I would try it.
You got to order when you want. You didn't have to wait for the stupid server.
You can go into any restaurant right now, open your phone, and use DoorDash to order food inside that restaurant while you're there.
Yeah, but then I'm paying a third party. Why do I want to pay DoorDash anymore?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, well, you're paying for those phones too, pal.
I'd rather just pick it, not the phone at my table at
Yes,
Training
you were.
Table.
You don't think that was built into the bill?
Heck no.
Yeah, it was.
You know what? That Training Table reminds me of post-baseball games.
Yeah, I believe that.
We would that was a popular spot when you got done with the baseball tournament or whatever. It's like, let's hit up the Training Table. Let's go get some of that dipping sauce. And then to Chris, I don't know if it's possible to make food a bigger part of the show. Maybe on What You Got Wednesday we could mix in some food topics. But neither you nor I don't want to speak for you. I'm not really a foodie.
I cook a lot. Obviously, we love our friends at Beehive Meals, but I do cook a lot and eat a lot of different foods. I have a smoker. I use it a lot. I have a sous vide I have all the toys. I do. What, Chris?
That one's Chris. Yeah.
What Chris probably doesn't remember is one of our very first What You Got Wednesdays was dinners. We just drafted dinners. Do you remember this?
No.
And we forgot to draft pizza and burgers.
Whoops. And
people wouldn't let us get away from it. And that was kind of the end of us drafting foods. We have drafted sauces before. We have drafted some of these things for sure. But we were drafting dinners, and I think I took soups over pizzas, and you took, something casual over salads over burgers.
Uh-huh.
And Scotty weighed in, and then everyone weighed in,
and we just got killed.
We were like, okay, we're not doing food anymore. So I'm not opposed to it, in all honesty. But
all right,
we have tested the waters, and we failed. Not you failed. We failed.
But if you're looking for me to eloquently describe foods for 10 plus minutes, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not my thing.
Yeah.
I can't get into
That's totally fair.
The creaminess of the mashed potatoes and how they meld with the butter and then go on and on about it. I just can't.
No one knows this because nobody's ever seen it. But in between one of my radio stops, I hosted a food show on TV for Xfinity Television, where I'd go to different restaurants locally and eat and try the food and have to talk about it. And at that point in my life, I had not eaten enough food to be good at the job, which is A, why I don't still have the job, and B, it's probably given me a little reserve of how comfortable I am talking about food.
Well, maybe you hold down the food side.
I had a duck with chocolate sauce in Ogden, and I had no idea what to say about it because I'd never had duck before, or a chocolate sauce that wasn't on ice cream. So I didn't know how to say this was good or fatty or rich or too rich or delicate or whatever. Sorry to those people.
What are
I
you
had to
looking
pay
at
the
me for?
bills.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
had to pay the bills. I don't know.
I can't accept the apology for some restaurant you slandered. I don't know.
I didn't slander them. I said it was good, but I didn't have anything to compare it to, so I wasn't exactly breaking it down, the X's and O's.
So you lied to your viewers then. It could have been just straight garbage.
2 viewers watching Xfinity TV in a hotel room who were looking for a place to go in Ogden might have gotten bad information from me.
They probably went and said, man, this duck sucks.
I liked the food.
Ben guy is an
but
idiot.
yeah, if you were a duck guy, I don't know. Maybe it was bad duck, but I thought it was good. I'd never had duck before. I've only had duck once since.
All right. Good talk, Ben.
Thank you.
All right, 6 o'clock hour coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We have the tech to get food delivered in 15 minutes, but we all have horror stories about buying tickets. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage. Get amazing tickets in just a few taps. Fees are included, so what you see is what you pay. And the Game Time guarantee means authentic tickets at the best price every time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets to concerts, sports, comedy, and more with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk, top,